Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon. Welcome the fuck back to our game, The Long March. I'm getting into the mood for Gregor Tuscan, as we return to what is, I believe, episode 16 of this campaign. So yeah, that's kind of exciting. Sweet 16 for The Long March. And
one off the perfect number.
One away from the perfect number. I can only imagine what chaos will ensue next week. But let's go around the cast and crew. Let's figure out who we are, who we're playing. Let's start with our Dungeon Master, Mr. Encounter Josh. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not bad. I am just I have some stuff that I had to incorporate in from last week because a load of shit went down, but it's okay. It's all sorted, and I'm looking forward to it because you guys some of you managed to finally make it to Limor, so we'll see what happens then. But over to one of the lucky individuals who managed to make it. Tall Squall, buddy, you made it. You're a winner. How's it feel, man?
You win the game.
I won D&D.
You did.
You won D&D.
Feeling great. Yeah, no, ready to see what this is all about and the insanity that Limor is going to bring to us because, yeah, time is like broken. So that's going to be fun. I'm sure that's going to have no bad or ill implications.
Uh-huh.
Yay! I'm playing Gavin Fjordhammer. He is a cleric and a paladin and somehow has managed to keep his hope and sanity intact for the time being.
For a while, as long as you can. Incredible. We also have Louise with us today. How you doing, Louise?
I'm doing wonderful. I am great and excited to live another day. Huzzah.
Yeah.
Huzzah indeed.
Yeah. Huzzah. I'm playing Kazna Vandre today, who is a drow eldritch knight fighter and the wonderful sister to the wonderful Zune, who I'm going to need a hand update because honestly I'm even losing track of what hand she does or does not have.
I was going to say, did you just need a hand with an update, you fucking bitch?
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm excited. Kazna's currently lost in a forest with darkness and monsters and a lot of bad things in the name of love. So...
okay.
Yeah.
First time you said it, you actually voiced it. You vocalized that shit.
Yeah, well, Kazna said nothing. Alright, Kazna said nuh-uh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I wasn't even here last week, so there you go. Yeah, sorry about the stream lagging a bit today, guys. Twitch been fucking me today and yesterday. I seem to be dropping
yesterday I dropped a shit ton of frames too, so okay, that's good to know it's not just me.
Yeah, I said the same actually, but someone mentioned that in chat. So I'm dropping like 3 to 4% of frames at the moment, so if that's happening, I'm sorry. It's probably just fucking Twitch. Anyway, we've got Ho TV back with us today. How you doing, buddy? Oh, quiet as ever. Silent as the grave is our friend.
Yes, I forgot I muted my mic so there wasn't any feedback. My apologies. So I'm playing Aureus Rox, the Wood Elf Druid from Elysium. And I think last we left off, I was trying to get the party to come through my portal. Come with me if you want to live. And I was able to port out, and that's the last I know.
Yep.
Good. That's all you need to know, I'm sure. We've got Laurelania back with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing a little tired, like the rest of the crew, I think, but we're good. And to answer everybody's hands questions, I have hands. I have hands at the moment. Zune has hands at the moment. More importantly, I and Zune both have hands, and she is my necromantic dark elf wizard, and she is the most friendly of the bunch, often described. Very natural leader. Good, works great with people.
Yeah, true.
Good stuff. As for myself, I'll be reprising my role as Gregor Tuscanu, who's back today to write on maps, take names, and he's lost somewhere out there, and he's all alone. But he'll be fine, guys. He'll be fine.
That sounded so optimistic to start with. It was like, and he's lost all alone.
And all alone. Yeah, Greg will be fine. You know, he's been through a few tough spots in his time, and I'm sure he'll go through worse. Yeah. So we did, in fact, have a little bit of housekeeping to get to. As mentioned at the end of last week, there was a bunch of donations that came through that Josh is going to get to.
A resplendent offering.
Just as I say that, fuck me. I'll get to that one in a second. But a bunch of magic item donations and the like from last week and a few that we will be getting to. Don't worry, sometimes when there are a ton of donations that come through, which we really appreciate all the support, it will take a little bit of time for us to get through all of them for them to make a bit of sense in the story. Speaking of which, Is River, about 3 hours earlier today, donated about £20 to give a Wild Magic Surge for Gavin, a Wild Magic Surge for Zune. 2 Wild Magic Surges for Zune, in fact, and a critical success for Kazna.
Oh.
So that could be good.
2 magic surges for me?
2 magic surges for you, 1 for Gavin.
What did I ever do to you guys?
1 for Kazna. And Irvin has donated £30. Zune gets a magic item, and she gets a mount.
I love you.
Of her own choice.
Morty!
Alright, thank you guys. Well, before we dive into the game, you guys know how to interact with the show. If you haven't followed yet, hit that follow button and join us. I think we're looking at, 60 followers for the next one? Yep. Here's a tweet for you guys, 20 retweets. You can check out Louise's sick map there as well. And of course, you can donate to Affect the Game as well. I give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. And if you're a patron, go download Sydney's new adventure. Which is out now on Patreon. Other than that, though, I will hand over to our good friend, Mr. Encounter Josh. As I will make one more note, Scraticus resubs to Twitch Prime, gives a wild magic surge to Kazna. Thank you, my friend. Alright. I'm back over to you, Josh, as we get through some of these surges here.
Yeah, okay, so let's get rolling some surges. In the meantime, you guys have had a bit of an attack. Does anyone here have the stomach to sort of recount the tale of last week? What happened to you guys? No one.
Does anyone want to remember? It's so scarred.
There were giant spider horrible things. I remember that.
We went with oh god, I've actually forgotten his name now. Oh my god.
Tavian?
Tavian. We went with Tavian Crow
to
go and find Limor. He told us we couldn't use magic. He was right, but that's another thing. That's a problem for future us.
Yeah, why was it that you guys shouldn't be using magic?
These large, praying mantis spider type robot things are coming after us, possibly to drain our magic. Zune went out into the wilds and found an old temple to drow? Yeah. Question mark?
Orius tried to communicate. They're not animals, too. He tried to communicate with them, and they...
Oh, yeah. They're constructs of some kind, is my imagining there. And then Kazna professed her love to Gregor, and they run away and lived happily ever after.
Untrue. No.
Never happened. Can't
Fake news.
Yeah, so... basically, you guys got seriously fucked up by some really nasty things just hanging around there, as you like, in good old mists. So that was a lot of fun. And you guys all got separated. Orius retreated back to safety, finding himself once again back in the glades with his coven far away. Zune and Toolscore were aided. Zune and Toolscore, not even his character. Through the fourth wall, Toolscore was aided by a mysterious individual who keeps appearing around Zune and occasionally gifting her with stuff and occasionally just screaming, come get all up in my green portal because you guys are all about to die, and transported her somewhere out of the mist.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh dear. There is dear old Kazna, who refused to go in because Gregor had been separated from them at the beginning of the party, beginning of the episode, to go and rescue or look into something or attack someone. Wasn't really clear. So we're actually going to pick up with Gregor. Gregor, buddy, you have been sort of out there in the mists with a small group of individuals. You're covered from head to toe in thick, heavy rags that sort of cover everything, make it kind of difficult to move, and it's getting wet just from the mist and the condensation, the vapor in the air, and it's just weighing you down. And I mean, Gregor's a big guy; he's not so bothered, but you can see everyone else is sort of almost like dragging this excessive amount of cloth along. And he's sort of you're moving along shackled, and finally you get to a point where you're pretty sure, like they look around and they nod and say, should be enough, and come over and unlock your manacles, and you are free, and your weapon is given to you, and they sort of back up a little bit. There's 5 of them with you.
Okay.
And
fuck me. I will note that you have a nat 1 you can choose to give to a player, Josh. Would you like to pick someone?
No, I'm just gonna
hold that one.
I'm gonna hold that one, and that's.
I'll put that point above you. I also have a curse to roll, thanks to Scrat. He's finally getting his fucking revenge, I think.
Okay. So you basically you have this handed to you, and they back up, and they sort of give you sort of that cautious look of, is he going to do something crazy? Is he going to attack us? They're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Well, let's see what your curse is.
Yeah, I'll quickly look at my curse. I guess it's a good idea. This might affect me. Everyone besides me instantly forgets my name and any memories of me. Fuck.
Oh my god!
Any documents regarding me are erased of my name. Oh no, it only is removed when I make some form of self-discovery. Oh fuck, I need to discover something about myself. I need character development will save
So,
me.
Kaz,
I
what are
feel
you
like
up to?
you're.
Who are
I
you
feel like
after?
you're fully developed, though.
I did my character development the other week. I told Kazna how I felt. No, that was all I had. That was my arc. That was my season arc. Fuck you, Scraticus. God damn it. I come back and the first... this is why I run production. Fuck me.
This is so literally you are handed your axe, and the guy looks at you and goes, "Sorry about that. On your way."
What? What do you fucking mean?
And he walks over to you, and you feel a clink as he tugs. And he just says, "That fucking thing won't come off." As he's trying to remove your collar around your neck, and just. Whatever that is, you're gonna have to keep that on.
What? What's going on here? Is this some kind of trick?
What do you mean?
Do you know who I am, right? You know I'm...
No, not really sure. They just said it was a mix-up, and apparently you got bundled in with some prisoners or something.
Yeah, that's right. I'm...
Hold on, are you telling us that you are a criminal?
No, my name is, Gavinicus. My name is, yes, that's right.
Hold on.
Gavinicus.
Don't we have someone by that name on the books?
No.
He sort of looks to his friend like, no, Gavin. Oh,
that's
right,
yeah, we're often mistaken because he's like me, but worse looking and shorter. A lot shorter than me, actually. He's really small. He's always got a chip on his shoulder about that. My name is Gavinicus. What's your last name, Gazna?
Boundary.
Yeah, Gavinicus Vandry, yeah.
I love it. Just right. You know your way back, right? He says as he looks up and sort of looks around as if he's not even sure where he is right now.
Oh yeah. Back the way we came, yeah.
Right, yeah. No, wait. So you're traveling with us? I mean...
Well, yeah, you remember there was the mix-up, and there's a whole... Listen, you just sit down, mate. You need a break. I'll just head back this way and see if I can find the prisoners.
Just sits on like a stump of like what looks like a gnarled tree root. Just like, what's going on?
Don't you worry, mate. I'll be right fucking back, and I just like start sprinting away like the way I came.
Nice dwarven sprint.
Yeah.
So yeah, you start sprinting. Give me a survival check, buddy, as you begin to sort of run through the fog. It's not too difficult, as hopefully I say, as you are sprinting back.
Okay. It's a 15.
Okay. So on a nat 1, you you sprint. You start sprinting, and pretty quickly, sort of, you realize you've lost the path you're on.
Mm-hmm. I also get fucking cursed by Israel as I go. What have I ever done to you, chat, but provide you hours, years worth, ad-free fucking... Alright, I'll roll it. 44 is my curse. As I get fucking lost, I get... No! I'm fucking done. I get the fucking prisoner's curse.
What?
I get the prisoner's curse. I become indistinguishable in every way from a wanted criminal in Holy fucking shit. Oh my god. Kill me now. Just end it now. That was such a
Oh my god.
Just when you thought you were good.
Just as I was out.
Oh my god.
Best curse ever. Okay.
I can't. So you start to run and end up hopelessly lost. And finally,
Do I come full circle? I come back to
straight back in. And one of the guards is just standing there slapping his mate, just like, why in the fuck did you let him run off? And he's like, he said his name was Kavinicus, boss. I didn't think, I didn't, and my paper, and he holds up his clipboard and it's got wet with condensation. It's just all the inks running down. He's like, I didn't know. I got confused. And his mate just...
I should go.
And he just slowly raises a crossbow. Don't, please, just...
I'm Gavinicus.
I feel like I should shoot you just on principle,
I
really.
feel like you should too, if I'm quite honest.
He shoots you.
We both come to this agreement. Oh, fuck me over and I get another fucking curse. Alright, here we go. Here it just fucking...
And then he realizes he's shot. Oh, but please, I really wanted to undo it again and just be like, he suddenly shot a completely innocent man.
He just kills a man. On a 25. Oh, this one's not so bad. This one's useful. A fairy will randomly show up and tell me everything that happened immediately before the fairy has shown up. Events are triggered by one of the players receiving a phone call, text message, or other interruption outside of the game session. That's awesome. So a little fucking I got a little fucking fairy friend. This must be Aureus's mate. Jesus Christ, how does he get his branch inside of you?
So he's sort of there, and you see that he sort of like looks up and he shoots you, but he shoots straight into like your plate, which it just it just bounces off, and he just sighs and just slowly reloads, fits in another bolt, and now that's dealt with. We're nearly there. So
I feel like we're not. There's another curse I have to roll.
It's like whenever you get a good one.
I now get a crit fail on a 1 or a 2. Yay!
Oh.
That's so bad. It's like, oh.
okay.
It's expanded criticals, but the other fucking way around. Alright, how many? There are 5 of these guys who just shot me and just pinged off. I've walked back in towards them. I've got cursed about 5 fucking times in these woods. I've forgotten. Everyone's forgotten my name.
Yeah.
But they think you're a wanted criminal.
Yeah.
You're not in a woods. You're in a marsh.
Right. Okay.
So, but yeah, he points at you and just says, "Look, we're almost there, and then you can be on your way."
Where are we going?
He shrugs and just says, "We're here to check on the other convoy." That's all I know.
You know what? At this point, I'll just fucking walk along with you, okay?
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
He just puts the crossbow away like, I'm not fucked with this guy anymore. as he sort of like goes to walk past him, you can just see the guy who is sort of like cradling his head in despair, and you can see that there is a glowing just behind him that is sort of flicking around him. It almost looks like a firebug or something. It's just slowly circling around him, and then it flicks over towards you and just hovers in front of you.
What the fuck are you?
The guy like turns around, looks confused, and quickly this thing just zips past you, and he says, "I'm a human."
Wasn't. Just keep walking. I whispered to the little sprite. What the fuck are you?
He does look around, and suddenly you realise that it's like you feel something brush against your neck, and a little voice says, "You're lost. You're lost.
Well, fucking
You're going the wrong way. Your friends are in the other direction."
They are?
Yeah.
Are they looking for me?
One of them is.
I
The
kinda
others
missed-
don't seem too fast.
Good, I kind of missed last week's episode. I was just going here. Okay, could you lead me towards them? Cause I got fucking lost. I actually just ended up doing a 360.
You're going the wrong way. You're walking with these guys in the opposite direction.
Right. So if I go the other way, will you lead me back?
Well, I can do, but if you go that way, you'll probably die.
Right, okay.
We're all going to die. It's free now.
Okay, well, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, little fucking pixie elf. You know what?
You swear a lot, don't you?
Fuck
it's
you.
not good. You shouldn't swear.
I'm gonna
Swearing's bad.
I swear that I'm gonna fucking rip out your tiny fucking pixie organs, and I'm gonna
You've
fucking
got really
paint them
fat fingers.
on
I
that.
don't think you could do that.
Listen, mate. My fingers are racially that size. Now, if you're... that is hereditary.
No, actually, there are many of your kind who just exercise a strict diet and maintain sort of decent cardio, and they live long and healthy and
That
prosperous
is a
lives.
fucking lie, first of all. Now, listen. It's glandular. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is, if you don't shut the fuck up and leave me back there, I'm gonna rip out your tiny pixie balls. I'm gonna paint them
I'm a
over your...
female.
I stopped for a second.
You're not very smart, are you?
I'm gonna rip out your fucking tits, and I'm gonna smash them onto your fucking eyes, onto your fucking face, and paint them there. Okay, so shut the fuck up and leave me back.
You can paint? That's amazing. I've always wanted to be able to paint.
I am the fucking Bob Ross of this world. Listen now, shut the fuck up and let's go. And I'm gonna...
Look, a tiny bush.
I hate you. And I'm gonna try and say, listen lads, ran into a bit of problem. That way leads to death. My friends are back this way. I know you got a job to do, so you can definitely try and stop me if you fucking want. Alright, but if you do, then what I'm gonna do is something very similar to what I was trying to explain to this little pixie on my shoulder. I'm gonna use what is commonly referred to as some very aggressive sexual imagery right now. So I'm gonna get your balls, okay? I'm gonna rip them out with my hands, hold them in my hands, take a good fucking look at them, yeah? Take a good fucking look at them, hold them, feel the weight in my fucking hands, yeah? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fucking shove them down your fucking throat, each and every one of you, simultaneously. And if you think that isn't fucking possible, then think again, because I have had a lot of practice on this. Now,
You practice ramming balls into men's throats?
it's part of a strict routine that I have.
It's that and cardio. It's how I maintain my physique.
That is how I have a strength for 24. Now, if yours would just fuck off that way, then I will fuck off this way.
The guy standing in front of you sighs and raises the crossbow towards you, and there is the sound of a crunch.
Is it his balls?
No, it's his throat as something whips out of the darkness and wraps around his neck, and it hits with such force it knocks him almost off his feet down onto one knee, and it wraps round, and there is a metal chain with spikes sort of in the links that spins, loops around his neck twice, and suddenly he just looks up. You can see some of the spikes have punched it into his throat. He drops the crossbow, eyes wide, and suddenly that chain that just emanates out from the fog is pulled backwards at quite some speed, and you actually see his neck break as he suddenly is thrown back. His body just goes flying. His boots come off, stuck in the mud, and he just vanishes. There's no scream or anything. And
I look at the others and just raise an eyebrow as though that were me.
One of the other guys is just like, he wasn't kidding. He's fucking insane, and just begins to run. The guy who was crying just looks resoundingly committed to die. But the other two just raise weapons, sort of looking out, trying to figure out where the enemy are. And they look like they're going to try and stand and fight, or try and find their friend or something. What do you do, Gavinicus?
Aye, Gavinicus! 17th of my name. Will fucking turn and run the other fucking way, because what the fuck was that? And I run.
There's a voice that says, "No, I'm Gavinicus," from the mists.
That's right, he's back there! And I turn and run. I'm not in control, Pixie! As I'm running, I'm like, Pixie, what do I call you?
Pixie?
That's a fucking shit name, mate. I want to call you fucking Angel Cock. As I run.
What does that mean?
Oh, it means that we're gonna have a good fucking time later. Like, my eyes just go fucking wild. He's gone fucking mad as he's running.
So, give me an actual survival check this time, as you don't get instantly fucked over.
Free for Jeebus. 17.
17. So you start running, and you realize that there is something gaining down on you from behind. Like, you can hear screams from behind you, and then they stop, and you just get this unholy sense that there is something following you that is right behind you. But if you steal a glance over your shoulder, there's nothing there. But the fog just means like you have like 20 foot of visibility all around you. It's got dark. It's not pleasant. And you start to really haul ass. And you realize, she says, we need to get off the path. It's following the path.
All right, let's get off the fucking path then. And I'll dive off to one side, just through the mists.
Gavinicus, you dive off to the side, and you are immediately submerged. As you suddenly sink like a rock to the bottom of a marsh, and manage to give me an athletics check to sort of move around, as you are a pretty strong guy, but you were currently prone in plate mail underwater in a bog.
Here's a tough lad.
It ain't great sticks.
I'm pretty stuff right now. My athletics is a +5. 14.
So it's a struggle. Like, you manage to, like, it's just getting your foot down underneath you, and then lifting up, and like as you push your body like up in like a press up, trying to pull yourself up, your hands just sink into the mud, and then you realize it's a struggle to actually pull them out. And all this time the only way you can actually see anything is this slight glow near you in the water, and finally you pull yourself up and break through the most fetid and putrid smell. It's glorious. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like, holy shit, that was like a fucking baptism in 3-month-old whale cum. Fuck.
There's a sudden pause as sort of like you catching your breath, and you see something move past on the path. You can't quite make it out what it is on your passive, but you can give me a perception check to sort of...
The fuck is that thing? Nat 20.
Nat 20, holy shit. So on a Nat 20, You notice a couple of things. First things first, you actually see further up the path something you were running directly towards.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there is something looming. At first, you mistake it for a bird. It looks like a huge winged creature. But then you realize that there are tiny little strips of shadow that drape down from it, and you watch as they move and seem to drag it over. It almost looks like maybe some kind of huge jellyfish that floats through the air.
Holy shit, Angel Cock, that thing is looming like my fucking grandma knitting a new sweater. Fuck.
And
At the loom, I mean at the loom, you know, that fucking machine? I know it was obscure.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
What kind of grandma did you have?
Wouldn't you like to know?
You never used a loom before?
Yeah. Get on Gregor's level.
Oh,
Fuck.
I get it. It's a, never mind. It's a
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that shit.
I get it, it's so fun.
But you look sort of down the path, and yeah, you can see this thing that's moving off in the distance, and then you see something else come down the path. It's humanoid. It's quite big, or maybe you're just quite low and quite short.
Right.
You're currently submerged
Yeah.
about that, and like the path comes up to about your midriff.
Yeah.
And it's a humanoid that is not really sprinting. It just has a really impressive gait. And is striding forward, and you can see that there are two cords or chains that seem to be hanging from behind it, and attached to those chains, sort of tangled up in them, are what appear to be lifeless corpses. And it goes past you at quite some speed and continues up the path.
Fuckity bye now. I like watch it. I wave as it goes, and I'm like, Angel Cock, we need to get the fuck out of here. Stay off the fucking path, okay? I don't want anything to do with that fucking tentacle thing with the fucking loom, and I don't want anything to do with that fucking humanoid those two fucking bodies dragging along with it. Let's just keep low, yeah, and find our friends. Lead me back. Can you sense them? Can you sense fucking Kazna?
I don't know who that is, but there is one who was looking for you, and she is about to run into that.
You're telling me that thing is going towards her?
Yes.
Angel Cock! And I like thrust myself out of the water proudly as I say that.
As I say, Angel Cock.
Yes, indeed. I rise myself out of the water and I say, right, we've got a fucking granny to kill. And I start running towards the looming creature.
Okay, so you begin to haul ass towards the looming creature, and we're going to cut now to dear friend Kazna, who is currently just ran away from people. Are you moving sort of towards these individuals?
Well, last I remember, I cast darkness and I ran into the forest.
You ran into the marsh, yeah.
Marsh. She was just running just in a direction.
Give me
to
a
see where
survival.
she ends up.
Yeah, that's fine. Give me a survival.
I would love to. Una momento.
No problem. And as that happens, I'm just looking up as you have a thing.
I rolled a wild magic earlier as well.
Oh yeah.
For a thing. I don't know what it is. I also got 13 for survival.
A 13. So yeah, you run wildly into the darkness and fog, like hell hath no fury, just pumping iron and moving, windmilling like a loon. Essentially, it's good. It's dramatic. It's entirely unproductive, and you are almost immediately lost. Let's just have a look. See. So wild magic.
I got an FU and a Zoom, Josh.
Okay. Sweet. That's interesting. Okay, so as sort of you run into the woods, you are going to suddenly you run into one of these creatures. You just run through the darkness into one, and something touches it, like slams into you, and you feel like like a burning sensation run across your arm, but you manage to keep running, and you sort of make it into the marsh, and you look down and you notice that you have developed some kind of like there's not really a wound, there's almost like a rash that has sprung up almost instantaneously. It is like small segmented squares, like this strange crusty gnarled scab that has grown red and sore around the edge, and right at the edge of the redness it is slightly mottled green. It is not pleasant looking, and you can just see these things that are converging on the few poor bastards who didn't have teleport, didn't have any real method of escaping, and are now sort of fighting to the death. You can hear them being massacred.
Well, that sounds like their problem. This is disgusting. She's going to keep going in the direction that she'd chosen.
Okay, you start running, and finally you come to a halt, realizing that sort of like you need to catch your breath, and you have lost all track of where the fuck you are, and you've also realized you've run to what appears to be the edge of like the end of like a pier, like a naturally formed jetty that leads out into like almost a small lake of water, and there are just reeds all around you that look deceptively like grass until you go to take a step in that direction and you realize that there's actually just water beneath, and it's quite narrow and sort of winding, and it leads back, and sort of as you cast a glance behind you, there is someone standing at the other end of this long winding piece of land. They have a sword. That's what you can see of them. They're almost entirely obscured by the fog. They appear to be just standing there with the sword drawn, watching you.
Interesting. So are they behind me or in front of me?
They're behind you, but unfortunately you've run out sort of to the end of your path, and it just ends at right in the center of a lake, it would appear. To get back, you'd have to either wade out into the water or run towards this guy.
I'll draw my sword and I'll start taking steps towards the figure.
Give me a perception check.
I'd love to. That's a 4.
On a 4, you look it over. It looks like probably one of the guards that was traveling with you guys. It's hard to tell, but doesn't seem particularly. You don't know. There's something about him that's off, or her that's off.
I'll keep walking towards them, and just to check with I've had to say Gavinicus's then with Gregor's / Gavinicus's curse. Is it that we just don't know their name, or that we just don't know them at all?
You're struggling to remember why you came out here.
Okay, cool.
It's almost as if this fog is
like
starting to alter your memory. Yeah.
Why is this so true?
You're starting to regret this journey and feel like it's been a wasted trip. Like, it's just too much hassle, you know. He's so over dramatic. He just all the time goes on, does all these weird voices. He swears. Oh, it's just, yeah. So no, you find yourself sort of drawing closer, and then suddenly you realize, just as sort of like the fog clears ever so slightly for a split second, you are looking at someone holding a particularly unnaturally. It's not your standard sword. It is what appears to be a sort of almost like a great sword, but it's being held in one hand, and it has like a curve down, sort of halfway down the blade, where the whole blade sort of curves outwards, almost like an axe blade with a serrated edge. It's a particularly vicious looking thing, and it is being held by an individual who is not wrapped up like the other guards have been. He is standing there staring at you with a mess of blood red hair and very pointy teeth. It is Marcus.
Great, good. And just remind me, Marcus is the one that
Not friendly twin.
the non nice one. The one that is okay, great, good. I'll stop and just look at him.
He looks at you. You ran all alone.
Seems I'm not the only one.
There's a difference between running and hunting.
I too was hunting something, though now the fog has confused me. I'm not sure what it was. You are mistaken if you think we run.
He looks at you curiously and I've always wondered what drow taste like.
It's a shame you'll never get to know.
I'm not sure about that.
Why don't you find out then?
Oh, I'm about to. And he turns to his side and gives you a come hither gesture. And then he begins to walk away.
Also, you get a curse to Kazna for relationship reasons. I may have picked this one out for you.
Wait, you picked it out? Do I have to roll?
No, you do have to roll.
Okay.
I got to choose who it was, and I said to Mashara, well, it's only fair, our relationship will become on a level. Maybe I'll forget you.
Yeah, maybe we'll just forget each other and we'll start again.
We can really move on.
Maybe you will suddenly be a wanted criminal.
It's a D100, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Bloody hell.
72.
Oh, that's good.
That's a high number. I
72.
don't remember what that means.
Oh, okay, this is interesting. You get the Tinker Tantrum. Seeing a trap or other intricate mechanical device makes you shaky until you examine it with an int check. Until then, you have disadvantage on other mental saves and skill checks. Basically, you have some kind of fear of metal things and devices.
Intricate traps. Okay.
You mean
like
the thing around your neck?
Oh my god.
Shut up, you.
That's like arcane though. That's not like gears and things.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
That's true too.
Make it a scrat. I will DM that one to Josh. That's bad.
I don't
no.
trust that sentence one bit.
Okay. Who's this from? This one you're
This
sending
is from
across to me?
Scraticus. It is a certain creature.
I don't trust you, Scraticus.
I don't trust you at all. It's great.
Nalfesh. What the heck's a Nalfesh?
I just.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I googled it and
great.
sent a link to Josh.
Two thumbs up.
Take this.
Oh, yeah.
Take
yeah,
this
yeah.
second link. It's better one.
Great.
Blows in chat at the moment. This is a Roll 20 link.
Okay.
And it's particularly focused on Gavin and Kazna loves and kisses.
Thanks, Scraticus.
It doesn't kill you.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, you guys okay. Right. You you see that Kazna, he is gesturing for you seemingly to follow as he begins to walk, and you almost becomes swallowed by the fog. But he seems to be leading you away from the lake.
I'll follow.
Okay. You begin to follow as pretty quickly you find him. He's slowing his pace to allow you to catch up, and he is walking along. As he walks, you notice he seems to be sort of like moving his head round in almost like he's got a neck crick or something. But you see every now and again he sort of seems to sniff the air for a moment and alter his course ever so slightly. And then he comes to the edge of what appears to be a path or a road of some sort. And he pauses. And he gestures for you to come over to him. And he just stands there and looks one way down a path.
And this is what exactly?
I told you I was going to taste drow. And then he raises his sword slowly, but not at you. He points down the path. And you can see a figure walking towards you. It's not a figure, it's not one of these huge hulking monstrosities. It is a lone figure. It looks like at first, but they appear to be dragging like something behind them. And you can hear the soft clinking of chains as the figure is moving down the path. And he lets go of his sword and just lets it fall to the ground next to him. Sister, it's so wonderful to finally see you. As a female covered in what looks to be obsidian black oil, her whole skin glistening in really unnatural, catching like any glimpses of light that managed to penetrate the fog and reflecting it in uncomfortable ways, comes striding forward, carrying dripping black chains that appear to be to her body and her wrists. And the chains have bundles attached to them. The bundles represent bodies somewhat, though they look broken in pieces, chunks of flesh. And she finally comes to a stop, and they're about 15 feet apart. And she suddenly pulls her arm back and hurls it forward, and an entire conga line of 3, maybe 4 corpses just get thrown up into the air, attached to these chains, and slam down, kicking up mud and dirt and water in every direction in a line, the nearest one landing just in front of Marcus. And you see a pair of purple eyes staring up at you. They're swollen, they're bulged, they look like they're in pain, but they also don't see you, Kazna. There is a drow lying dead on the floor, its body cut into by chains, broken and beaten and torn and bleeding. And Marcus smiles. I told you I'd taste drow. And he suddenly drops upon it and begins to tear it to pieces with his teeth and his claws.
I suppose you weren't wrong.
And after a few moments, he stands and he's just drenched in blood down the front of him, and he looks to you. You are going to help us. You are going to help our sister find the place that we were promised. Or you will share their fate. And you hear sort of the clink as the chains shift, and she slowly moves her gaze to you, still standing 15 feet away. You can't see any trace of any hair or anything like that. She has a very slim physique, not particularly womanly either, but she does have no, like, her features are just covered in this black oil that seems to stick and cling to her and is dripping off her. And he looks at you. Do we have an agreement?
The woman with the chains, she's the one that called me sister, right?
No, he called
No.
her sister.
He called her sister. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, remember that vampire I was talking through
Yeah,
the dead
yeah, I
bodies who
remember.
had... Yeah, that...
I don't know
Yeah,
what's
she's-
more scary, the vampire sister or our sisters. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like,
I was
Just
just
come on.
I was like,
you know, I'm okay with the vampire sister. Let's go back.
vampire sister.
Was this figure, Josh, to clarify, the one that I saw?
It would indeed be that said figure.
So,
So-
presumably around this time, somewhere
Yep.
in the near distance, Gregor is running towards
Yep. Oh, yeah.
screaming angel cock.
Yes. And sure enough, that moment is suddenly overtaken by someone screaming angel, cock. As
Angel cock!
you see what appears to be a torch, and then you realize it's more than a torch. It's dancing lights of bright energy swirling round a figure who runs charging out of the fog with an axe. We're going to cut from there. Just
Okay.
And we're going to cut to two individuals standing looking at what appears to be a city hidden away, tucked away behind a blinding, brilliant white dome of energy. You are standing, to remind you, both Gavin and Zune, on top of what appears to be a large
Thank you, Evan.
waterfall. It's not like a roaring waterfall. It's not a huge stream, but it is high up. And beneath you, maybe at least 100 feet, is the fog. And you can see the tops of a few trees that seem to be speckled around throughout. But the marsh extends for almost beyond your vision. And it is quite late, but it is still quite bright because the surrounding area is lit by a dome that is miles wide.
And I've got Lucas there, who's just lost his brother. I think that's where I left off, was consoling Lucas.
Indeed. And there is also
A strange man, right?
a strange man who is currently appears to be adjusting his trousers and sort of trying to tucks himself in and untucks his trousers from his boots and sort of like is casting prestidigitation to clean off his boots and clean himself and sort of fussing over him, and he is basically making himself very busy and giving you guys a moment and seems to be rather flustered.
It seems the others did not follow us, Gavin.
Here's not. But I assume that this must be Lymore.
Hey, he finishes dusting himself off and turns around and my apologies. I had planned a much more with stuff, and I have a camp set up, but I missed it ever so slightly. We nearly fell off a cliff. I'm not usually. It's just in a sudden have to get it all done anyway. Sorry, where are my manners? I should probably introduce myself. My name is Deradu Smilt. Pleasure to meet you.
Gavin Fjordhammer, pleasure to meet you as well, sir.
What a name.
My, that handshake, my golly.
Blacksmith
You
by
must-
trade.
A blacksmith,
Yes.
right.
Oh, and a paladin, and a cleric, and
I was genuinely worried for a moment there. No disrespect meant, but I was hoping you would be something a little bit more. My lady, it is a pleasure to meet more of your kind. I am Deradu Smilt. I presume you seem to be of some great importance, I'm sure.
I am Zune Vandry of House Vandry, last of my name.
Vandry. You're not from the local neck of the woods, I presume. I don't recognize the house title.
No, unfortunately not. I have a small favor to ask. You've done so much for us already. I hate to be a nuisance, but would you mind assisting? I point to the collar on my neck.
He leans in and kisses your neck, just really confused. He's just like, strange traditions you have out there in the West, but of course.
Simply flattering. I haven't been... I meant with the collar.
Oh, that. I could probably help one of you. Not sure I have quite enough juice left in me to get both of them off in one day. Let me just pass it here. Do you mind? Oh, this is going to be terribly awkward. Can you sit down just on that tree stump, just there?
I look to Gavin. If any one of us is going to have the collar off, it is probably you.
Oh, yes. Well, he's
You sure?
paladin after all.
We both...
What have you got on your hand?
Oh, these are mere...
Oh!
Oh, yes. I dabble in the necromantic arts.
Oh, that's no problem at all. Never mind. Don't worry about it. No, him. What is that? What? Looks like you tried to clean a drain pipe or something. You got your arm stuck.
Oh, right. That's also another thing we could use help removing.
How did you all become encased in so much metal? Yes.
Yes, that's a long story, but certainly getting my hand back would be helpful, but seeing as I believe the collar can kill me, let's take care of that first.
Oh, well, I mean, you're going to need your hands where you're going, so give me just a, and he grabs hold of it, and then he puts a foot on like one of your knees, and then he puts another foot on, and now he's just standing on both of your knees, holding onto this thing, and then he passes wind, and it's just very embarrassing. And then finally, with a groan, he just, God. Now that's stuck. And then he snaps his fingers and it falls off. Oh, magic will have to do it. There you are. And it just clangs to the floor, hitting the stone and bouncing away. And then suddenly it flares and you see energy course through and it snaps shut. And there is a series of minor explosions that course throughout the pipe that jet out one end. And there's gas, almost like this horrible twisting red mist that quickly dissipates, and he looks at it and, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Oh,
Nor was I.
If that had gone off on your arm, that would have been interesting.
I don't think the Raven Queen would have been very pleased.
We could do it again.
Actually, Gavin's like, my arm, my hand, because it's like his mummified Raven Queen handed to he's like, what's happened to my hand? Oh my god!
That's amazing. That's amazing. He pokes it.
Yes, that's its normal state. Thank you.
Oh, I see a joke. Oh, I don't have many jokes. Other than what was that one? I made it up last year. It was about the rocks. There was one rock. I've lost it. Where is it? Nope, it's gone. So, sorry,
anyway,
I don't
Lymore.
have much company. Yes, Lymore. There it is. What do you think?
It's beautiful. The dome is
Thank you,
an
Mishara.
amazing magical construction that I would like to study further at some point. Is this your creation?
That no. Couldn't. No, I barely fathom it myself, to be completely honest. That puppy's a tier above me, as it were. But did you get all the information that was sent through, all the packs and the brochures and everything of the such?
Oh yes, absolutely, and the songs as well.
The songs. don't remember writing any songs, but I probably doodled some songs in there. Anyway, I've heard that you must be a representative from the Underdark, and yourself, where is it you hail from? Breckendale, I imagine. Good sir.
Yes.
I kind of give him a nudge, make
Yes. Around those parts.
Splendid. So are they looking to invest?
Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, in which
Such
case,
an opportunity seems to have presented itself here.
I can't even. I mean, the applications is just. So, sorry, we should probably head on in.
As I was saying, is there commercial areas available in this for investing in? As I said, I'm blacksmith looking to retire, and if you have some commercial property, I'd be quite interested.
There is some commercial value, given the fact of the rate of reproduction. It would help, but only on a minor scale. I think it's more suited towards the weapons that I mentioned before, and the testing and the simulations. So I
think a tour would be appropriate at this point. Don't you, Gavin?
Yes, I'm not sure I'd be willing to put my money in without a complete tour of the property.
Of course.
What is the resource that you require the most at the moment?
Me, nothing.
I'm sorry, the site. You'd forgive me. The town, yes, of course.
It would probably be of no use, although there is one in the town who might be looking for stuff to be brought in from the outside. But he's different. He's difficult. He's the only one who seems to really understand things, although it's driven him entirely round the bend. So he's the only one you'll get any sense out of. The rest truly have no concept of everything going on.
Excellent. Well then, straight away, shall we?
Indeed. So he turns and he begins to lead you guys down a winding river, which is beautiful, and it's catching sort of the evening sun. There's like the sun setting in the distance, and it gives like an orange glow that carries over the top of the canopy of the mists and catches the edge. And it's like beautiful, rich, long grass that's sort of wild and uncut. There's bushes, there's trees, there's the breeze. It's lovely. There's birds nesting. It's a very bizarre looking thing. But in the middle is this just beautiful brilliance of light. And you notice the river seems to cut through Limemore. And he begins to walk down towards it, down a sloping path to a small camp you can see that is set up. And it's a proper built building, you can see, has been built over time. It doesn't look particularly fantastic, but it's a hut. And he begins to lead you down, muttering about sort of profits and investment, and we could probably make. And then if we used it for just commercial or military value, it'd probably be the medical value of it would be astounding. But obviously, I don't know how the long-term effects would work. And he just goes on this huge, long rant, rambling.
While he's kind of leading us, I'm pacing back with Gavin just a little bit so we can kind of hopefully whisper underneath his crazy mutterings. I don't really know what I'm trying to accomplish here at the moment, Gavin.
Neither do I, but I think...
Maybe a viewer decision will help you?
Oh, I think maybe a viewer decision will help us.
Damn those viewers.
I assume Lucas is with us as well, yeah?
Lucas is following cautiously at a start.
And that's all who's with us. I figure we just go along until we see what this is all about.
And my viewer decision, guys, is going to be this. There is a slight... basically, there is something that someone in town named Gliz. And Gliz is having a bit of trouble making something. Gliz is a bit of a tinkerer, you see. And what is it that Gliz is currently having trouble finding parts for or getting just right making? It can be sort of any sort of construct, machination sort of thing. So Gliz the tinkerer is making something. What is it and how's it going?
Let it be an omelet.
It's an omelet. He's making an omelet. Otherwise, anything
I'm
else.
all about it. Gavin is in to help him cook an omelet.
All you can think about is food, I swear.
Going to make an
Hey,
omelet.
there's
the
no
machine.
resemblance to my real life at all.
If you're going to make an omelet, we all know that you're going to have a frank and honest discussion with the eggs.
I love that. Right, so as you guys head down, we're going to cut back to a crazed, mad, frothing Gregor, who is charging towards an individual that's stopped in a road. And you can see that there is blood, like you are following a trail of blood that is just being dragged through the path. And you're coming up on the individual now, but you hear Kazna and someone else exchanging pleasantries.
Oh, I stop my charge, and I'll slow down. Angel Cock, stand down. And I'll walk into the mist so I can see them.
She just vomits off your shoulder. Just please stop running, please. The ground's so uneven, and you jingle and.
Angel Cock, return yourself to your fucking foreskin and shut the fuck up. And I head into the circle as I say that. What the fuck is this? Some kind of picnic? That's all I had. Some kind of fucking picnic for fucking vampire gays. It's weak. I look around.
There's only one man there that isn't you.
What the fuck is this? I say.
Kazna, you vaguely recognize this individual.
Kazna? What the fuck is this?
They all look to you mildly confused.
I looked at them, mildly confused. Is he with you?
It's a known criminal.
Is this known criminal with
He's
you?
He's that wanted criminal everyone's been trying to catch.
Kazna, it's me, Gregor.
Right, no, that makes sense. That must be it. I was looking for something in the forest. You are a wanted criminal.
What?
I must have been trying to find you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know I'm a wanted criminal, but who the fuck isn't, am I right? Out of all of us lot.
Shut up.
Marcus turns to Kazna and just says, is this one someone you need?
Trying to say yes, Kazna. I mean, not to put a lot of pressure onto, our relationship and whatnot, but this is a question that you answer fucking yes to.
What relationship?
Have you fallen over or something, Kazna? Do you not remember the thing?
What thing? How do you know my name?
Kazna, we know each other fairly well, and I do a touch tips motion.
Marcus reaches down and picks up his sword from where it's sort of stuck into the mud and flicks it clean.
Okay, you don't remember me, Kazna? I mean, it has been all of about 5 fucking minutes.
I'm sorry. Were you...
Yeah, I should fucking think so.
Hold on, You were at the Pissed Fox, right?
Yeah, amongst other places, yeah, pretty much everywhere along this fucking map, and I get out my map. We are fucking here.
give me a history check, Kazna, as he has a map.
History.
You should have 20, Louise. You should have 20.
Oh yeah, I've got my nat 20. I'll use that.
You use your nat 20. Suddenly, you take the map. First of all, this is a fucking awesome map. Whoever made this map,
pretty darn awesome.
That's a cool map.
That's me. I did that map.
We should appreciate it and give credit to the person who made it, which is Gregor. So, yeah, you notice that it's singed around the edges, and sort of he traces the line, and as sort of he traces the line along the map, Gregor goes on like this huge rant about everything you've been through, but you get quite a Gregor-coloured impression of everything, which is basically
Everything's dwarven made.
everything is dwarven made. Everything is so fucking shit, and everyone you've ever met has either been trying to fuck you, you've been trying to fuck, or you've tried to fucking kill.
I mean, that is true. So-
Accurate. I mean,
And it's not entirely too dissimilar to your actual recounting. Yeah.
that's fair. So you remember, right?
yeah.
Patchy, but you do think you remember this guy. Kazna,
Yes.
as you're standing there, you suddenly have someone very, very close to you as you guys are standing there. You both have a 7.5 foot tall woman standing in front of you, dripping what you can now see appears to be blood. This blackness that is dripping off her just appears to be congealed, thick blood.
Who the fuck is this? The wild witch of the fucking cunt? What the hell?
Do I recognize this woman, or is she just no, just a random? Okay, great.
Marcus just looks at her and just says, "Shall we kill them? Are you hungry?" And she looks to both of you and opens her mouth, and even the inside of her mouth is just black, but you can make out sort of the liquid blackness of sharp teeth forming. Almost, it looks like almost when like liquid sticks together as you spread your fingers.
I got
just razor sharp teeth.
Fucking hell, I got 2 words for you, sweetheart. Orthodontist. Yeah.
That's one.
No.
Never mind.
No.
And finally, Marcus just turns and looks at the pair of you and says, "You were traveling somewhere with your friends, somewhere far away. Tavian mentioned that you knew where it was, Kazna.
And do you trust Tavian's word?
I trust that you have ways of contacting your..."
Josh is just in the video, isn't it?
Fuck's sake! Okay, that's fine. So, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. So, as you're talking, you guys are sort of chatting. He says, "Tavian mentioned that you knew how to get there, and I know that you and your sister have an uncanny knack of tracking each other down. So if she's already there, you should be able to help us find her. And my brother."
I don't know if we want to go anywhere with fucking Tweedledee and fucking Tweedle bloody fucking mouthhole. Okay, so why don't you back the fuck off, mate? And, we'll fuck off back this way.
I tend to agree. If you think that you and your sister and this thing are, well, intimidating, you have another thing coming.
Right, she tends to fucking agree, mate. Yeah. Yeah, that she tends to fucking agree, so why don't you just, Oh, you're not gonna take the words of Tavian, are you? You know he's fucking gay. With Gavin.
He just looks at both of you and sighs. "I do really want to kill you both, but you are going to help us, willingly or otherwise."
Oh, do you need our help, do you?
I
suppose that's not a new feeling, isn't it? You've always seemed to need help, haven't you? From your brother, your sister, from Gavin. Why not man up and do something on your own for a change?
Yeah, you're fucking gay. He's gay, right?
You are going to be our walking blood bags.
As wonderful and appetizing and fun as that sounds, no.
Yeah, once again, mate, she tends to fucking disagree. No, agree. Agree. She tends to fucking agree with me, alright? Mate, we don't want to go to your fucking wherever kinky fucking hole in the ground that you guys fuck around in together, yeah? I don't want to be putting anything into that hole right there. And I point at the girl's like black bully kind of mouth. Not about that whatso fucking ever.
The way I see it, Marcus, the only incentive you have given us for following you and being these blood bags, as you say, is that we won't die. I have a newsflash for you, Marcus. We're not going to die either way. So either you come up with a better deal, or you and your friends fuck off.
Does a 22 hit you, Kazna?
Yes, it does.
Okay, can you give me a strength saving throw?
I would love nothing more than to do that.
Here we fucking go.
That's a 22.
Fantastic. You are not restrained, but you are going to take some damage as suddenly her arm comes up, and it basically looks like she's going to punch you, but she's at least 5 foot short. But then the chain that she's dragging swings round, and it bites into you and slams into you at the same time. You are going to take 19 bludgeoning damage and 8 piercing damage as it wraps its way around you, and you manage to just pull yourself free. Would you like to roll me some initiative, guys?
Yes. So that was 19 plus 8, sorry.
Shit. Yeah, 19. Let's fucking go.
Let's go right now.
I have been up for this fight since about 20 minutes ago when I ran in shouting angel cock.
Yes, we will need to address that at some point.
No, that's just between me and my angel cock. Roll a 7 on initiative there.
Ooh, I got a 4.
How in
Wow.
the
Wow,
fuck
we so shit. We're fucking little.
We are the worst.
How has Marcus managed to roll 21.24 for initiative?
That's impressive. This guy is fucking.
He
He's
is.
on the next
He
level.
is accurate. Not just fast, but
He
accurate.
knows exactly how fast he's moving. It's the overland speed of a European
24
swallow.
He's like in the Matrix.
I don't even know.
7.24 dex mod, whatever.
How do you have a point?
How do you get a 7.24 dex mod?
I just imagine this cutaway scene to like Marcus. There's algebraic symbols in the background.
It's like, dude, he's in the Matrix,
He's in the
man.
Matrix. He sees the fucking lines.
Oh my god.
That's what
Okay.
you want. Fuck me.
Okay. So, sorry, we've got Gregor and we've got.
It's
Where
like
are you, buddy?
fucking like AD&D level map right now. What's your initiative? 22.24.
It's amazing.
Please calculate your THACO so that we can see how this is all going to go down right here.
I miss Thaco. Don't even.
Oh,
You can
God.
fucking
Who
burn.
I
are you?
miss Thaco.
Actually, it's not 21. It's 21.24
You are a,
initiative.
you are a undead brown necromancer, THACO. That's like a curse on the
amazing.
world.
No, what's wrong with you? All of you.
Okay, so Marcus is up first. He is going to. He's going to go for Gregor because
Fucking come at me, mate.
because his sister has gone for Kazna.
I'm
So
gonna show you my fucking angel cock.
does a 2? Where are we?
22.
Yeah, does 22.
Actually, my AC is 22.24. So, no, my AC is actually 24, so he misses.
Okay.
Clang!
23.
Clang!
15. Oh, that was so anticlimactic.
Clang! You're getting closer there for a minute.
So he comes in with very quick sword attacks and slices towards you, but you just manage to sort of basically just sort of like take it like a champ and just put your blocking with your gauntlets, fending off this sword. doesn't seem particularly impressed. He seems to sort of settle back into quite a feral stance, looking to really hurt you right now. It is, where is she? There we go, Sister, who is going to make another attack for a... I've just realised I'm whispering all her rolls. Does a 27 hit my dear friend?
Mm-hmm.
Yasmin?
Oh, that would have even hit me, fuck.
Yeah, she a nasty bitch. I'm gonna come out and say it. So
Those chain whips are not nice.
No.
Give me a strength saving throw, please.
So she whips and she's gonna
That's a
fucking
25.
do me.
25, yeah. So she takes, you take 11 bludgeoning damage, and where is it?
She can take
Oh,
it.
Christ, 16 piercing damage.
Okay. Ramona, retract that statement, Gregor.
She can't take any more, Captain. She can't take any more, Captain Angel Cock. She can't hold. It's now Angel Cock has now been promoted to captain.
Captain Angel Cock.
Captain Angel Cock.
I love it. Taking it to Gregor.
I guess you could say he took the cockpit.
Oh my god.
I was totally gonna have Angel Cock be like the news reporter. And for the recap of the battle, we have 3 vicious hits by our
He's
Marcus
like the
Bloodmoon, all of which
commentator
miss.
going around.
Next, we come around to the sister, and she hits.
So, taking it to Gregor. Gregor,
Right.
on your turn, you notice that your dear friend Angel Cock has basically started to glow from like this beautiful golden to a deep red.
I like that. That fucking suits you. That does. That's the
You're
colour of
also
your
pretty-
fucking insides, Captain Angel Cock. When I rip them out of your fucking body.
You're also pretty sure that she's slightly started to grow. She's swelling. You've seen this before.
Oh.
Like got red and then starts to like get larger.
That's my fucking Angel Cock growing right there, swelling with blood. Artificer cheers to heal Louise for a 1d10. Huzzah.
1d10. Happy days. Louise, do you want to roll me that 1d10, please?
As we rejoin the battle, Angel Cock is engorging to a larger size.
Fuck me.
That's 9 on that 1d10.
Okay.
Yes.
9. That's pretty good. So I'm not going to vomit yet. It doesn't call for that yet. This is uncalled for a moment. I'm going to...
The crowd awaits as Gregor decides whether or not he is going to vomit.
I fucking smash it in with my fucking maul. 18
hits. 18 hits.
Second attack is a 20.
Hits.
Fucked. It's 5. 10 plus 5. 12 and 10.
Yeah, you slam into him, and you see as like you come swiping in, your axe just catching fire at the last second, cuts into him, and it burns away like his what appears to be like very light armor, but it cuts into his skin. That should have killed him outright, but he seems to take it. It hurts him quite a bit, I tell you, but he manages to sort of stagger backwards, and sort of the fire catches across his clothing in places, and he manages to pat it out quickly, but he doesn't look particularly happy about the fire.
I say, you fucking hit me, you big twat. Not my fucking girlfriend that's forgotten my own fucking name, alright? I'm in enough pain as it is. You can lay it on. You can fucking lay it on.
Taking it to Kazna. Kazna, this psycho bitch just came out of nowhere, and this just starts...
Fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch, man.
This fucking bitch right here. I'm going to stab with a 22. Does that hit?
22 fucking hits, yeah.
Sick.
Oh, yeah.
With a 15 damage.
Okay.
I am not having none of this bitch today.
It's a massive
No,
hit by
thank you.
Kazna as she swings at the bitch of all bitches.
She's going
Okay.
like, who is speaking? And then I'm going to action surge to go again.
Yeah,
On
love
a 19.
Love really does
Yeah.
hurt.
19.
It really does.
That's an 18 damage.
Yeah.
And then, because this psycho bitch is not allowed to come in here. After it's been a long
All
day.
up in my man's business.
All up in my business. all
As
up
we
in
see,
my man.
Kazna.
Having an emotional breakdown.
She's like, I did not walk into the fog for this and leave my sister behind. I'm going to use my war magic feat, which means I can cast a cantrip or make a single weapon attack as a bonus action. And I am going to... I'm going to try and poison spray this bitch.
Okay.
On a DC, she has to make a con save.
I think I'm just trying to figure out if she's still whispering rolls because it's. Oh, there it is. So con saving throw.
Yes, please.
A 10.
She misses, so she takes 20 poison damage.
She takes 10 poison damage.
Well, you know what? That's fine too.
Kazna, you know what's amazing?
What?
You got 2 attacks as standard, so when you action surge, you get
Actually, get 2 more.
you get 4 attacks total.
Oh, fantastic.
So you get to bonus action poison spray, but you also get to get 4 attacks. So this bitch,
This bitch is gone die. She gone die. She gone
As
die.
Kazna looks to Gregor and says, "Hold my purse, honey," and it gets real.
Hold my earrings.
Don't make me take my earrings off.
You fucking hold my man bag then, sweetheart.
just completely like hold my collar, just takes it off. Apparently came off the whole time.
She just rips it off. Hold this. I'm going to go in with my greatsword again.
Okay.
On a 22.
Hits.
Sick with a 14 damage.
And the 21 hits as well.
With a 11.
I don't know why it's not.
I don't know why it's in it twice.
Yeah, that's cool. So that is a massive. That's 25, 35, 40, 50. That is 68 damage.
A lot of fucking math right there, Kazma.
As you describe a series of crippling blows to this individual as she gets fucked up.
When we say crippling, how crippling do you want?
I'm gonna allow you to get exciting with this.
On a scale of 1 to my fucking grandma, how crippled are we talking right now? Because she's got fucking tentacles going out everywhere.
We're talking full on crochet madness, mate.
Right.
Like
Fantastic.
off the walls.
Full on fucking loom.
In memory of Zune, I want to first start by chopping off both of this bitch's hands, and then I want to use these hands and skewer
Zune.
the end of it onto my sword and just bitch slap her with her own hand.
Stop killing yourself.
Kazna literally takes the second hit and doesn't let it go. She wraps her arm around the chain and with one hand brings her greatsword down across both this bitch's hands, cutting them clean off. The chains fall to the floor, and as you slide your sword through the floor, it comes up holding just a hand skewered awkwardly on the end. And then you bring the sword in again and a slice across her face. You take her bottom jaw off as this hand just smacks into her. She staggers back. You can't tell if she's bleeding or if that's just the blood that seems to be like covering her all over. And she staggers back and you come through with another attack, hitting her twice in the legs. And finally you drive through her right leg and a piece of it you see something snap. And when she goes to put her leg down, her whole top of her leg just seems to sink down. And you actually watch this. Basically, her shin punches into her thigh and slides up into it like a retractable leg. And she just collapses on the floor. She doesn't make any noise of complaint, however. But she is completely down on the floor. You see the hands have stopped moving. They're not still thrashing around.
Gregor says, "This is where I fell in love with you."
You know what? I respect her not crying. You know what?
Like a
I
bitch.
respect that.
Like a bitch. I respect her.
It's like massive props to you.
Yeah.
Taking
That's
it
metal as
to-
fuck.
That's metal as fuck.
More metal than the fucking snake shit I did the other day.
Taking it to Marcus, who is going to jump at Kazna.
He said hit me.
For a 21.
That will hit me.
And he is going to
21.
then come in for
He-Man.
this. Where are you? And he'll do this at advantage, having grappled you instead of doing damage for 28. Hot damn.
Yes.
He bites you. You're going to take 10 piercing damage, 6 necrotic damage, as you are bitten and he draws blood from you, ferally pulling back and tearing your flesh as you have to almost stagger down under this onslaught. And he is going to try, he can only bite once, but he's going to try and claw at you again for a 17.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
For 6 slashing damage, and also you feel as he rakes this clawed gauntlet across you, it basically seems to melt through your skin, and he actually grabs hold of something. He currently has hold of your ribs, with his fingers having punched into your gut, and he is just biting down, clamped down onto your side, in your neck. This is unpleasant, to say the least. Can you make me a con save, please?
I'm about to play the biggest fucking game of whack-a-fucking-mole.
That's a 20 on the con save.
20. That's pretty good. So, it is now Sister's turn, who is going to... She is going to look up and she's going to look towards dear old, wonderful Gregor. Gregor, can you do me a favor?
Hey.
Can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, here we go again. Every fucking campaign.
Be wise, Gregor, be wise.
Made some choices I'm not proud of. 9! Off I go!
wisdom
Time to
save.
murder my girlfriend!
You go to swing down at Marcus and then stop as she is just looking up at you. And suddenly, you can't bring yourself to kill the guy.
Sanctuary?
Just suddenly don't have that urge. You feel pretty calm, actually. It's quite nice.
Ooh. I'm feeling all boogie woogie.
At which point,
Gregor, snap out of it.
she slowly begins to pull herself up. Very uneasily, and just as she gets to her feet, Gregor,
Hey!
on your turn, you notice that there is a burning red glow right next to you, and your dear friend, your dear wonderful, wonderful friend, what was her name?
I don't know.
The floating
Oh,
majesty-
Angel Cock.
Angel Cock. Angel Cock
Ribs
doesn't
for your
look so
fucking pleasure.
doesn't look so angelic anymore. You are looking at what appears to be the face of a hog with huge tusks, horns, wings, like almost angelic wings, but this huge gnarled face. And she is getting ripped. Like, she is Incredible Hulk transforming at the moment, muscles spreading. She has kind of grey, green, red skin. It's like pigments, and fur is beginning to sort of grow across her sort of arms and huge feet, as suddenly she is transformed into what appears to be some kind of flying demon.
So I guess I should call you Demon Cock? No? Is
And
that right?
just gonna roll some initiative. for
You
that
like
one.
me though, right? We're pals, remember? Back when you were Angel Cock and I was Gavinicus.
You said you're gonna rip her tits off or something.
So I did mention something about
Something about
whole lot
wearing her
of
tits as a hat or something. I can't really.
something like that.
Yeah.
So let me just get her in the initiative order. There she is. And that's on a 15. So Knobbly Demon Cock is going to.
Knobbly Demon Cock, right? Yeah, of course.
Of course.
It's a good name. Could have chosen that for you myself.
Is going. Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ! This thing is just so mean.
It's always the good ones, isn't it? That turn into the giant fucking demon cocks.
No, is going to try and slam into you with. She's basically going to try and headbutt you.
More remind me of my fucking grandma's dildo. That's a whole nother story.
Does a 27 hit you?
27 is gonna fucking spank me. That is hurting. Yeah.
Okay.
AC 24.
This is brutal, chat. You guys are terrible people. As you're gonna take 22 piercing damage as she basically leans down and flies into you, headbutting you, and you feel horn just go straight through your shoulder plate, finding that gap where the plate doesn't quite come, and you are skewered entirely through out the back. You feel the plate on the back pop out of place, maybe your shoulder blade as well, and you are lifted into the air and slammed down onto the floor.
Oh, now you really do remind me of my grandma's dildo. That hurts.
Can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Again, fuck with the wisdom saving throws. My one weakness. 2.
You're good. Everything is fine. You are still
Great,
calm.
actually.
You are still calmish. So, it is
Fucking
now.
calm right now. I feel so fucking calm.
How
right
are you
now,
calm right now?
You know what, Kazna? This is oh, that's it's gravy, you know.
Gregor, you are up. It is your turn. You are slammed down on the floor.
Ouch. Yeah, folks asking when donations going in. We're trying to get through all of them, but there's a backlog.
Yeah.
You know, you guys
I
have donated
have
like
so many donations.
thousands of pounds towards this show, so we're gonna have to get through. I will stand up, and I will. I don't want to attack this thing, right? Because I'm charmed by it, presumably.
No, you don't want to attack the vampires. This thing doesn't seem to be under the same. It doesn't seem to come under the same.
Right. The demon cock, I'm fine with hitting though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm cool with you. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. You know what, Kazna? You deal with the vampire guy. He seems kind of chill. I ain't gonna deal with the demon cock. You know, this is a way. You know, we're a good team, you and I. You take vampire boy, I take demon cock. Wait, no, that sounded weird. I attack it on a 14.
Misses.
Oh boy, 16.
Misses. You are
52.
hitting this thing, but you just can't get through its hide.
Do I have anything? Oh, no, I don't think I really do. I don't want to spend anything at this point. I don't have any bonus action spells. I don't need my second wind, because I've only taken a wee bit of damage. But my vomit is an action, though.
I will allow you to vomit on this thing, to be honest.
You let me vomit on the demon cockin.
I will let you vomit on the demon. Just like
Alright.
well, I tell you what.
You kind of gagged on it.
Roll me a
just
gag reflex.
Pause a moment. Can we have that, please, added as a quote on the channel? I will let you vomit on the demon cock. Can that
You know what?
please?
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Under
Yeah.
You know
usual
what?
circumstances, I won't be
And
feeling
also
it.
roll me the gag reflex.
Yes.
Like that also needs to be.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll allow you to vomit on the demon cock. Yep.
You are. So,
There we go.
You can. It's. I believe it's a con save from this thing.
It is, yeah.
One.
How's that for a burning sensation?
Where is it?
The lube that just keeps on
It
giving.
nat ones.
Holy moly.
You vomit, and you watch as basically it flies in to try and it basically just tries to head charge you again, and you manage to step between the two horns, and you vomit on its back, and you watch as it basically just all down sort of like the length of it, like this putrid
That's
magma.
42 fire damage.
You melt this thing's wings off.
Ha!
Comes crashing to the ground right at your feet, sort of just beneath you, and basically is now prone beneath you, burning in the magma. It's covered, it's just seeping over it. It's not good. It's not good. That was some good damage, actually.
That was not bad, was it?
That was,
Some of it was bad, some of it was right. You know, mixed bag.
Yeah. As many sixes as you got ones, so about what you expect.
Yeah, pretty good average, but that's what happens when you got a demon cock down your throat, you know, trying to kill you. Trust me.
Taking
And Gregor vomits on the demon cock.
the knobbly demon cock. I just want
Knobbly demon cock.
Oh, God.
It's got knobs on it.
On to the next round.
For gauge pressure, it's got knobs. That's fucking into my turn, mate.
Yeah. Kazna, you're up.
God. Okay, how does she look?
It's hard to tell because she's covered in blood. Give me an insight check or an investigation or perception or something. Or medicine. Medicine might work in looking.
Oh, can I do that again with a medicine check?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. That's a nat.
Not on that one. You are absolutely convinced of like there's no way. There's no like she can't be getting back up, and she is. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, good. Also, is Gregor within 15 feet of me?
Yes, he's just about.
Right here, honey.
Terrible news.
Do it.
No. No.
I got a good con, don't worry. If you turn out to a
By the way, what you guys? What are your passive perceptions?
real shiny, like 9 or something.
10.
Yeah, my passive
Yeah.
be 9.
That's fine.
Thanks. Okay, good. That makes me feel
No
better.
reason.
Okay. In the first instance, I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion because I'm not doing too hot and I need some backup. And
Do you
then
mean the other spell that isn't Minor Illusion?
not yet. I don't know why I
You
said
mean
that.
mirror
Image.
image.
Why did
I cast Minor Illusion.
I cast Minor Illusion.
I make sparks appear.
I distract them.
And the
with
halftime show is
fireworks.
brought to you by Kazna and her Manor Illusion.
Cool. So,
Do I get? I can use another action, can't I?
mirror image is one action, so you can use a bonus action.
Okay. And with war magic, with improved war magic, I can throw in a weapon attack. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw in a weapon attack. The 25.
hits. Yeah, roll me damage because
That's 7 damage.
wow. So yeah, you slice into her, and she actually tries to like move back out. She still takes a cut, but she backs off a little, not having any hands or any weapons apparently. However, you do still have a vampire attached to you who is biting you.
Oh, I forgot about him. You know,
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
And he's going to, as you've made no attempt to try and get him off, or have you?
How did I forget about him? Could I
You
use
could
a-
forget our good old friend.
Does a 25 hit you?
Yes, it does.
You are going to take another 8 piercing and 10 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Make me a con save.
Okay. I'm doing really well with my hit points currently. That's a 17 con save.
On a 17, you start to feel funny. You start to feel pretty fucking woozy. He is chugging down your blood.
Gregor, it'll help.
Yeah, a bit busy, sweetheart.
And
vomiting on this fucking demon.
Finally,
Escalated.
he lets go of you, and you just see like blood covering him, and he looks red-eyed, like blazing red eyes that seem to actually have blood running across the eyeballs themselves. It's not a pretty look, and he turns around, and he is going to jump up and give me, where are you? A 1 and a 2 at advantage, luckily, as he is frenzied.
Ooh.
And he will do, oh god damn. So that's 30 slashing damage, and that is 28 necrotic damage to this crazy bitch who is attacking Gregor.
25 will hit me. 20,
Not attacking you. Not attacking you. He's attacking the individual who is currently you're in a combat with, this strange knobbly
demon. Oh, cheers, mate.
And basically manages to slice into this thing and take off one of its arms with his sword, almost hacking into it like a machete, and then looks to you, Gregor, and snarls at you. Run.
Okay. Good idea, mate. I'll fucking drink to that one later. And I will fucking run. Kazna, come on!
Taking it to this thing's, this thing is going to start wailing, so I'm going to make some rolls for it as it's going to try and...
Wailing? That's illegal around here. Yeah. So that's illegal in these waters, mate.
He's going to basically have a competition with dear old Marcus over who's going to...
Let him have at it.
Oh, holy shit. That sucks. So basically comes up and is going to gore into Marcus. This is not pleasant at all. Marcus begins to tussle with this creature, getting pretty badly injured in the process. But it is Sister's turn, and Sister stands up, and you watch her leg fall out of the top half of her leg. And when she goes to put her foot down on it, it takes her weight. And she begins to walk towards this, whatever this is that's lying on the floor, and leans down and tries to bite into it.
Hey.
It is, we're going to cut, it's Kazna and Gregor's turn. You are currently not locked in combat.
What do you do? For 4 months. I gotta grab her by the hand and say, this thing said fucking run, so I suggest we get our asses out of here.
Fine.
Do you fucking tend to agree, honey?
I tend to agree.
She tends to fucking agree. Let's go.
Just
run out
to
of
prove the point,
yeah.
that you begin to run down the path, blood pouring from you.
Oh,
as
yeah,
it's been unpleasant.
The whole thing.
We're gonna cut away from you guys shortly to, where are we? Zune and my dear friend Gavin. You guys have reached a camp. It's not a big camp, but it is a camp nonetheless, with what looks to be sort of a mud and stone hut. And he gestures for you to come in, and you see that there's loads of maps and tons of research everywhere in all directions. And he comes in and just says, right. You need to stay with me. It's almost time. We should probably go in now. It's probably coming up close to midnight-ish now. So yes, we should go in now. It'll be quiet. And you can just stay by me and make sure if you see a goblin, a small fellow, missing an arm, has sort of what looks to be sort of a trumpet sort of device on his arm, then let me know, because that one can be a little troublesome and we might have to make a dash for the perimeter. But other than that, we should be fine. So come with me. And he begins to stride out.
Can I make a history check to see if I've ever heard of a goblin with a trumpet on its arm?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a history check.
I'm in the wrong game. Where's my game?
Wrong game.
Whoops. Roll 20. Wrong game. Got it. I'm
Tell
here.
Very telling.
Oh, awkward.
So, as you nat 1 your history check, you have
Yeah.
absolutely no fucking idea. You've never even really heard. You know nothing about goblins or anything.
No memory of this place.
I have no memory of this place.
Less a race, anyways. No worries.
And Gavin, give me either a religion or an arcana, my friend. Actually, Zune, you can give me an arcana as well.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
19 for me, 28 for her.
Holy crap. So a 19. So religion, Squall, that is radiant energy. That
The dome.
entire dome is radiant energy of sorts. There's something odd about it, something very unfamiliar, but the whole thing just is like burning white and seems to be something. You're not sure? Zune, you notice something. You look up, and it's actually the first thing you see is a wonderful little, what appears to be birds. They're flying above the sky, above the town, and it's sort of up there where the light is less harsh. With these goggles that he's giving you to sort of stare at, they're basically like eclipse goggles to stare at this huge burning bright light. You catch a glimpse of what appears to be birds, and you can see them circling around the outside of the dome, and there are birds circling on the inside of the dome, and sometimes the birds from the outside seem to nip inside, circle around and start fights with the ones inside, and then you see one of the ones from the outside fly back out, and the one from the inside tries to follow it and hits the edge of the dome and burns and slowly begins to fall, trailing smoke.
What an interesting reverse osmosis you've created magically. I'd be very interested to hear how you accomplished this.
You get the feeling that this is well beyond any mortal. Like, even if you want to continue sort of like playing to his ego, then sure. But you get the feeling whatever this is, it's beyond anything you can imagine, and it has been here for a long time. It's also quite unstable.
May I, since you said it's been here for a long time, may I make another history check to see if I recall anything about this thing somewhere, maybe deep in the Underdark, a book I read maybe?
On a 20, nope. You've never heard of anything like this. Whatever this is completely beyond.
Gavin just says one word. Auric.
The individual comes to a stop. It's the wizard stops, and Derrido looks to you. How do you know Auric?
By reputation.
Sorry, you're a paladin. He's a paladin. You probably do paladin stuff together.
Yes, all paladins know each other. We all look alike.
You do look. I mean, he was a big fella. He was an orc, though. So you're not quite like that. But yes. You're not with them, are you?
No, we're not.
I don't see this insignia.
No, just by reputation, and this dome is of radiant energy, so it would make sense that Auric was involved. And
Yes.
from what little we know, Zune, did you point out the whole bird thing that happened?
I was waiting for a moment to do so when he was not looking at us. Well, I also did, I said the reverse osmosis thing, so I would have been pointing at the birds as well.
Yeah.
Are we able to exit once we get inside?
He nods as long as we're quick. We can't be in there and He pulls out something. It ticks, and it is a small contraption with many faces and dials and levers, and it's circular, and to the layman, it's a very complicated tinkerer's pocket watch. And he pulls it open and sort of looks at it, and he holds it up, and he keeps it level. And we have about an hour, maybe a little less, before we have to seriously leave. So this will be a quick tour, but it's when it's the most quiet. Once it gets to 3, then we have to get out, and we have to be gone by 3.
Very good. We should hurry then.
Understood.
And he walks to the edge of what you can now feel prickling the skin, sort of setting the hairs on edge, as this thing is like a huge magnetic force or something. It's disturbing the air around it. You can see as you've got close that the grass has grown like quite wild around here, but inside the grass is quite short, and it just suddenly stops where it is. You can also see that the path leading in that you're walking, like this small path, has a handcart that gets right to the edge on the inside, but there is no handcart trail on the outside. And he rubs his hands and says, I've been waiting a very, very, very long time to do this, to bring someone else in. Here we go. And he pushes someone in. He pushes himself in and waves you through.
Just question. How long have you been waiting?
Yes? Huh?
He already went inside. Gavin goes in. What the hell?
Oh! Sorry about that. Gavin, it feels odd. It physically hurts, but it's not like a real bad pain. It's like pins and needles in every part of your body simultaneously. It's horrible, but it's not really painful. Yeah, and it's just,
after your foot's asleep and that feeling?
Indeed. And you suddenly feel very cut off to your powers. It's like a horrible dampening effect. You still have them, but there's like this disconnection, which is really odd. Zoom, are you following?
I'm waiting to see how Gavin reacts upon going in, seeing that he's not like, I'm burning. Yeah, I follow him in.
And right as you start to come in, he's like, ooh, radiant energy. And
okay, make me a con save, my dear friend.
Thanks for the heads up, buddy.
On a 16, you walk in. It's uncomfortable, but you look down and sort of your flesh seems unaffected. It seems to burn slightly. You get that horrible singe smell, and he looks at you and then sort of awkwardly looks away and just, it's okay. I don't judge. Let's have to make the best of what we've got. You might want to limit the amount of time you walk through that on a day you end up tanned. Welcome to Limor, and he points to the town, which is still about a mile away at the edge of the town. And you guys can see that the town looks sort of reinforced to a degree, but it also, now you're closer and you're on the other side, it looks like it's on fire in places.
Do you need some time to sort that out? We could...
No, it'll be fine. You needn't worry. And he begins to sort of walk towards the town. He just says, if I tell you to do something suddenly and it makes no sense whatsoever, you'll have to just do it. Otherwise you could end up rather hurt. So continue on. And he begins to sort of march cavalier towards the town with not a single fuck seeming to be given.
Gavin follows.
Much faster if we had horses, if we're limited for time.
And quickly, he sort of makes his way into the outskirts of town, and you see that there is a gate. There is a wall that stretches around the town. It's not a particularly impressive wall, but you see that there are stakes that have been sort of put up to sort of stop people from climbing over the edge. And there are sort of, you can see that there's fire flicking. Sort of, you catch that glow across the edge of the walls, but you get to the gate, and the gate has been smashed to pieces. It would seem, and burnt, sort of like you can see burnt, charred wood. And he gets to stop, and there's churned mud everywhere. And he sort of says, "You'll have to wait just a second. Wait. Huh. I was expecting..." And then there's an explosion from inside town, and there we go. Oh, sorry. Doesn't usually happen. I'm not used to having guests. And he walks in and vanishes into the town as he steps sort of through and round a shattered gate. Do you guys follow him?
Gavin does, because he is really curious and starting to have a theory.
Okay.
I'm just kind of taking everything in, looking around, waiting for us to be led around, still trying to maintain the we are potential investors ruse.
Yeah. Exactly. And as potential investors, you were shown into what looks to be sort of one of the main streets that leads to the town centre, the town square, where you can see there is a big statue of some sort. However, the town is quite a mess at the moment. Primarily, the first thing that you notice is the buildings look like they've been damaged and broken in places, doors and windows. There's fire in some of the building. It looks a bit chaotic. There's also at least 30 people lying dead in the street. Blood covering them, mud covering them, with weapons sort of pierced through their flesh. Some of them are fiend-touched. Some of them look like mercenaries of some sort, who are bleeding to death. You can hear fighting going on inside buildings, and absolute fucking chaos just everywhere. Screams, people crying for help. But it appears you've come after the worst of the battle.
Do I happen to see any drow bodies in the pile?
Roll me a perception check.
For no particular reason. Oh, wait, that's persuasion, sorry. Perception, there we go.
On a 19, yes, you do. There's a couple of female drow, what look like drow commandos, that have tattoos that don't match up with anything you'd recognize, lying dead. It looks like they have sort of been piled on to by a couple of fiend-touched who have sort of like basically brought them down but been killed themselves by vicious-looking fist blades. That sort of almost like gauntleted blades that have been pushed up through their chest. The fiend-touched, still eyes wide open, jaw agape, blood and saliva has like run down on their faces. But they have that defiant smile, but they're locked in that embrace in death.
Gavin, seeing injured people, of course, is going to go over and see what's going on, see if he can help. But like I said, he's got this sneaking suspicion in the back of his head. How long do these people look like they've been dead?
And a curse for Zune.
Hey!
Son. There it is.
Give me that, and yeah.
100?
Go 100.
Alright.
Come on, lucky number 13. 30.
Number 30 reads... Oh, fuck me, Zune. It's 7-fingered. It's the curse.
No.
Yes.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
yes, it
no,
is.
it's
I'm
not.
telling you
no,
it
it's
is.
not. I am
telling
so
you.
sick of your shit.
I'm fucking telling you, it fucking is. 2 thumbs sprout from a random place on your hand. This could be out of the palm, between 2 fingers, etc. These thumbs move when your other thumb moves, and until you get the curse removed, you have -2 to your dexterity. Had to be the fucking hand, didn't it, chat? Fuck me. Oh.
Something terrible has happened to your spare hands that you have in your pockets.
Something terrible has happened again.
Actually, aren't they attached right now?
They are attached right now, which is one of
yeah.
the reasons I was inquiring for the drow hands. I was going to say, does everything that stays in here a certain amount of time unable to leave? If I were to take a couple of those hands for my necromantic needs, would I be able to leave with them?
He looks them over and he says, You could take them. They won't last for very long outside. It'd be better to do it in the morning.
Well, we won't be here in the morning, correct?
Oh, no. We'd have to return in the morning and get them, but that's messier.
So, on my medicine check?
They have been dead maybe half hour.
Okay.
I'm removing my dex now and putting it as a note.
Hey.
There we go. Hey.
Can I do would it be an insight or investigation to look at the buildings that are burning to see if they're being consumed?
Give me...
Or insight?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say investigation, perception, something like that.
I'll do perception.
Are you saying that for the...
You said their things are on fire.
Yeah,
trying to see whether or not the fire is actually consuming.
A couple of these buildings are going to burn down, yeah, but they are on fire. That's
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I mean, Gavin's thinking that this place is locked in a moment, or it's Groundhog Day.
They are falling to pieces.
Okay, so they are falling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he looks around and says, as you can see, it's quite quiet this time of day. Not much particularly going on.
What does it look like in the mornings?
Much better. Although everyone's a little tense.
Awaiting the battle.
Yes, mostly.
I look to Gavin as if, suddenly following his line of thought there. Oh.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
If you wanted to test any of the weapons, sort of the chemical compounds that you or the poisons that you were planning on, he says to Zune, then it would be best to try them first thing in the morning when everyone is fresh, and see. You probably have about 12 hours, as long as you can find them, to make sure that they succumb in the right way, and you can monitor them. And if, for example, your folk need any practice here, wargaming or whatever it is, then of course it would probably be best to come in the morning when there are more targets. Obviously they'll be back again the next day, but if you want a really good fight, you need as many of them as you can get.
Is this common?
I don't think anything about that is common. You've just done a very shoddy job of...
I'll have you know that I could flay you and put you back together all within the same hour.
I'm sure you could. If you want to, we have some... well, maybe not this time. There's a couple who are still alive. And there'll be the Goblin also. I suppose we can introduce you to him. He's our resident control subject.
Oh, that would actually be delightful.
Oh, fantastic. Come with me. He's generally down in his workshop. Now, as I stated, he's the only one who's really aware of what's going on here. Everyone else will forget everything by morning time and won't know the effects of Limor, but he's different. He seems to have somehow retained his knowledge. So he's a little unhinged, having seen this total of 1,095 times so far that I've accounted for, but he's been here longer than I have. So just so you're aware, he's also currently abandoned most of his men to die today. I don't think he was up for the fight today. In fact, I haven't seen him in a couple of days. I think he's working on something, you see. And
why don't we wait right here and you go and get this magnanimous goblin for us? We need a moment to have some private investor talk. If you
can't stand here. Try the tavern. The bartender,
we love taverns.
He gestures over. He says, "Now the tavern."
I'm never leaving the tavern.
Literally
for real.
stuck in a tavern for all time. It's how the campaign ends, right here.
You just made a mistake, Josh. A fatal mistake.
He opens the doors and he points to the bar and he says, "The barmaiden is currently behind the bar. She's in a cupboard. She thinks that she'll be safe there. Unfortunately, the place will catch fire in about 40 minutes' time, so she will actually perish. The barman is dead. He's about a block that direction.
We'll serve ourselves. Thank you.
Decapitated. So, yes, just help yourself to whatever you want. Unfortunately, you'll be hungry again shortly, if you understand what I...
Yes.
So you'll bring the goblin here. Do we need to meet you at his workshop?
I can go check if he's feeling like receiving guests, but he probably won't come out. So I'll just go check, because last time I killed a couple of his friends because I was bored and I needed to practice a new spell, and he took it quite badly. But I mean, they're back now, or they're dead again. You get used to it. And he just begins to wander off, chatting to himself still. No,
Gavin,
really hold it against me. Just never really.
What the fuck is going on?
It is Oric. He's used some type of divine intervention to lock this city in the same day over and over again. Well, because it was to have the lyric go, determine the outcome of the war.
Oh. My loth. Fuck.
So, if
very like the worst swear that
was
she
eloquent. I
knows.
enjoyed that
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh my loth, that is terrible.
So, if something needed to happen by the end of the day or the day after the city was taken, now it has never taken. It is never resolved. Which...
The weave must be bending here. You cannot lock a place in time forever. That's just magically...
Well, look what it's done to the entire surrounding area.
We must, for the sake of the weave, fix this.
Those things.
Yeah.
Those things which were absorbing magic. The constructs of the weave itself.
Attempting to keep this place from...
in balance.
And if we don't destroy this eventually, this could quite literally...
break the world.
I heard a hum outside. Perhaps one of the crypts, structures of where the drow used to be. I have a sneaking suspicion that whatever is keeping this up is from outside, not within. But it could also be the thing that is creating the constructs of this goblin.
You have to see him. Someone who's, well, we know our friend's been around for probably at least 3 years here, keeping an eye on it, so 1095.
I wonder if time slows while we're in here.
Doesn't appear so.
Well, we wouldn't know until we went back outside. How long is morning? What is the time the time is not something you want to... Zune looks terrified. I do not want to be here anymore, Gavin. I would rather be at home in the Underdark. We must find this goblin and leave immediately.
I think that we should go find our friend quickly.
Yes. I start heading down the path where that guy was going, assuming that Gavin's going to go with me. We don't even bother with the fucking bar. Fuck the bar. Fuck the bar.
Yeah, we don't even go to the tavern. DM brownie points.
Yeah.
So you guys come around the corner, sort of out, and you head down, and you see that he's just vanished into a large building, and you watch as someone comes running towards him, and he steps out of the way as if inconvenienced. And this guy has a huge axe that he swings. This guy does not look like he is an unseasoned fighter, but he swings, and Deradu just steps to the side, sighs, moves out the way, ducks at the right moment, and then just sort of leans against something, and it comes swiping in, and then he ducks to the right, and it just impacts into this wall and lodges in place. And he reaches out, wraps his hand around the axe, and just energy surges down the hilt into this guy. And you watch as that axe handle explodes, his hand comes off, and he's flung backwards and hits a wall and just vanishes through a wall. And Deradu just... see you later. And heads inside what appears to be a large building of governance. And as you follow him, sort of, you head past a statue. The statue shows a man really roughly carved, but pointing, and he's holding a sword up in the air. And he has sort of quite familiar features. You guys see a sigil which you might recognize, carved into this individual shield. This sigil is of the Pentaval 5, which I think I've just pushed to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Carved into this individual shield. It's not a particularly flattering depiction, but it is a depiction nonetheless. And you make your way past, and you can hear raised voices coming from inside, and an argument brewing, and finally a sigh, and there's a small explosion, and you get into the front of the building just in time to see that he has ripped open what appears to be a hatchway that is sort of built into the floor, and he's descending down some kind of ladder into almost like what looks to be a drain pipe or something. He keeps sort of like shouting to Gliz, I am warning you, if you booby trap this thing one more time, and he's just slowly descending down.
I mean, I think we've got no choice but to follow him. At this point, I might call out to him, just say, we've just behind you.
Yes, it's fine. If he sets anything else off, I'll have his head. And not that it makes much difference. And finally gets down to the bottom, and you see him vanish into an open space at the bottom. It's not too far down. But who's going first?
Gavin, I assume.
So Gavin, you come down into a workshop that is carved from stone that looks odd. It has tunnels that lead out of it that looks like it's built into the sewer system. And there are benches, there are contraptions, there are strange mechanical devices. It almost looks like a dwarven sort of workshop, but everything is a little bit less sort of gold and bulky. Everything's more finicky, sort of small and a little bit more spindly in places, but it's still like complex things moving around, cogs twisting, machinations that you can't possibly wrap your head around. And Zune, as you sort of step foot down, you sense like a magic in the air. And Neridu is just looking around, glowering, and just says, where the bloody hell is he? And finally walks over to a workbench, and from behind it you can hear tinkering. And he slams his fist down onto the workbench and just says, we have guests from the outside for the first time in, well, however long it's been, and I'm trying to introduce you. So would you care to introduce yourself, please?
Muted.
You're muted.
Dare thou smelt? I swear on the 9 gods that I worship, if you've brought anyone down here that doesn't tell me how the hell I'm getting out of this damn bubble.
I have absolutely no idea what they. This is Zune Varaday of House
Vandry.
Vandry. House Vandry, okay? And look, will you just be a little appreciative, okay? I have brought you guests for like the first time ever.
You hear this this sudden click, and this goblin stands up behind the bench, and he points an arm from and out of his sleeve comes this contraption, and he points it right at the drow, and he says, I know your kind. You're the kind that enslaves us. The whole damn reason my people are here. A part of it, anyway.
I'm no longer one of those, drow, don't you worry. I've seen the light, as it were.
Hello, I'm Gavin Fjordhammer. Nice to meet you.
I see. And what side do you align with?
Whichever side needs help.
I see. That doesn't quite answer my question, though. What I mean is, there's a battle on the streets. What side are you on?
Yours.
Interesting. I don't seem to see any fiendish parts about you.
We have our own ways of that. Yeah.
7 fingers, 14 fingers.
And I kind of show some of my dead flesh and do my best to make myself look very fiendish. While Gavin is just like, I am a holy paladin of everything that is good.
I reach into my mind and go, Hex, would you like to introduce yourself? And give Hex control of my vocal cords.
So suddenly Gavin's voice changes and just says, hello there.
May I please roll an insight? Please.
You can give me an insight check.
Yes. Come on, baby. Put 2 and 2 together. You're so smart, Zune. You were so insightful. You were so
Yes!
You are
Wow.
so good at voice acting, Gavin. Wow, I'm just a... Zune
You know, I
looks
did
at
that
you like
Raven Queen thing. It
impressive.
worked really well before.
Yeah.
Please say that the goblin maybe recognizes his voice.
No dice. However, this voice speaking from Gavin's mouth says, I've heard of you.
I would imagine you probably have if you're from the parts around here. Speaking of which, Derridau, who the hell are these two? And if you've brought them down here for more target practice,
They're
I swear if you
investors.
kill any more of my people, I will kill these two this time.
We're investors, as a matter of fact.
They're looking to, I don't know, particularly probably test stuff on the townsfolk. I still have the agreement that your folk are off the table, though it doesn't do them any good. But yes, I'll do what I can to dissuade that. He turns to you two and just says, you two, looks at Gavin, just sort of, something wrong with your voice. Hex, no, everything is absolutely fine. Right, okay, that's odd. He's one of those people who obviously just gets very formal around people, I don't know. Well, there are a contingent of goblins here who are fighting alongside the Fiend Touched, and they are not to be harmed. I have a standing agreement, and he pulls out this mechanical contraption that he was using to tell the time, and he says he makes and creates certain things, well, he's rather handy to have around, so we keep him here, and none of his men are to be harmed. You can test on all the others, but he's useful.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to meet both of you, I suppose. But I'm afraid that you won't want to be standing around here. And he looks at the clock. About 30 minutes, you're going to not want to be standing here.
Yes, that's right. We really should be starting to head off. But he's on hand. We can wrap this up again tomorrow if you want.
He looks at Derridau, and this goblin says, "So have you found anything else out? It's been 3 years, Derridau. You've been watching us like you're your pets, and I'm starting to think that you have no intention of helping this situation whatsoever. And I'm the only one trying to make any sense of this."
I have investors on their way who have far more resources than I do. And the second we can start making some money off this place, the sooner we can actually figure out how to get you and your lot out. I can't do it without money. I don't have enough resources, and I don't have the power. However, we've already attracted two very prominent investors. Gavin here knows Aurak personally, so he's connected to the Pentacle 5, and you have Zune, who is a representative of one of the great houses of the West Underdark. So, obviously, far more infrastructure and wealth there. So,
I reach into my pocket and just take out the 500 GP gem. Oh, I forgot that I had this little thing.
Oh, did I forget this? And he licks his lips.
Glizz lowers his arm. I see then. Perhaps you are doing something. And then I'm not the only one trying to fix the situation. And he lays his half arm, half gun on the table in front of him, which he's got a bunch of contraptions kind of in front of him. And he looks at the two newcomers and he says, what exactly do you two plan to do here? Don't tell me this fool's told you that there's some sort of investment.
We're most
There's nothing
interested
to invest in here.
The research. I mean, it's quite a unique reverse osmosis in magic, and the time stop is most intriguing, which could have medical properties that humans would very much enjoy. You know how humans don't like to age. They're very much so against that.
Exactly. We have all sorts of species. We can test different immune systems. We can test different torture techniques. We can test different weapons. We can try different social situations. It's endless, really. It's a little repetitive having to reinstate everything in the morning, but well, if you have the time and the increment, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem.
Well, actually, that makes for the perfect blind testing group. It is
exactly.
No matter what, it's actually quite. Zune for a moment goes off.
Zune's
She's like,
little.
Yeah, he gives you that look of like, now you're talking my language. Like, think of the.
We could have a double blind test group with a different catalyst,
but you could change minute factors. Glizz here. Glizz has a journal that he keeps on him, and he every time he goes out exploring and looking for new bits of scrap or whatever he needs, he knows exactly where everyone will be at every given time. Which means navigating around, you could basically act like a god. Like earlier on,
Could I see that journal just for a moment?
Well, it wouldn't work.
Absolutely not.
It wouldn't work with you because the second you are there, well, they won't know you, so they won't react in the same way as they would react to him. You have to make your own journal, you see. Mine. Well, I have it all up here mostly. I've got so many notes. I've been in here so many times.
Just one small thing I was wondering. Have you considered the potential problem of a time feedback loop? How have you resolved that?
Ah, right. Well, I'm not entirely sure how the actual dome works, to be completely honest.
Where does the dome originate from? What powers it?
He'll be here in about, time?
22 minutes.
22 minutes, there we go. So he arrives about then, and then he's around for about 5 minutes. Not very talkative, so I'd scarf.
You know, as bright as I am, sometimes I forgot the names on the brochures. We have so many places that we love to go and invest on. I apologize. Him?
This place is an amusement park.
It's a museum, is what he means to say.
Nor is it a museum.
But
Neither of you. Gavin.
So when does Auric arrive?
Well, his spirit.
22 minutes?
22 minutes. 21 now. I'm not so good on the ladder, so I'm going to have to go. You guys might want to also leave. You don't want to be here when that happens.
Yes, how is our time? To get back out, you said an hour.
No, take
22 minutes? We need to be out?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, everything goes back in an hour, but I've never been inside when that happens for good reason. There are more wildlife here than there were before it started.
Do I see his journal anywhere?
Is Grick his name? Grick.
Glizz.
Glizz, were you here during the battle, or did you come after?
You see, I'm the great liberator of my people. And we decided to side against people like you, enslaving our kind for years. we sided with the Fiend Touched. We had some sort of standoff here, and before you know it, we're stuck in a time loop, a battle.
I was going to say the battle is ended on the outside. Everyone is free now. Free people, free souls. There's peace and harmony.
The wizard looks outstanding, sort of like taken aback. He's just... What do you mean?
Well, I hate to tell you, but the Fiend Touch have been defeated.
Hex is dead.
Gliz says, looks at both of you. Hex has fallen?
Hex has indeed fallen.
I have
By
it
the
on
Pentacle Five's hand.
high authority that he is no longer on this plane in his mortal form.
That's regrettable. Well, that actually explains why he hasn't responded to any of our sending. Or, well, that's annoying.
He kind of Gliz looks at Derrida and says, well, shit, he says.
I know.
I tell you what, we won't tell anyone that you were on the wrong side, and you should find a way to come out with us.
Losing or winning, Drow. This is not the wrong side. You have it all wrong. What?
You have to forgive him. He's a fanatic, you see. He came here, he was a liberator, and he joined with them, and the Fiend Touched and him get along quite well. I can introduce you to their leaders tomorrow, and then to the Great Alliance, and then we can sit back. There's a spot which they don't go to. It's where they were all supposed to meet up, and no one showed up, and then we can sit up there and watch the entire thing unfold. You can get a good idea. I've drawn up maps. I've got sort of a play-by. I've got an interlude, everything sorted. It's going to be like a spectacle, but I wanted to show you it all now when it's a bit quieter. You see? Oh, we will have to kill 2 individuals who did actually show up. They're always there, but they're...
It's not possible to have one of them put their arm slightly outside the dome and me chop off a body part and then have it. I'd love to see how that happens when the time loop feeds back and the body part's on the outside and it's still on the inside and it attempts to grow back. Have you done that yet?
I have, but that's something you're going to want to see. We'll do... He looks to
Gliz is going to start walking towards as you're talking to him. He's going to start kind of nonchalantly looking at one of his little items on his table, picking up and tinkering with it. I found a way for magical devices to indeed not be affected by this time loop. And he kind of walks over towards the ladder. Go ahead. He's just walking towards the ladder.
Yes. Well, for example, this. I can take this out. This always keeps time, apart from when I forget to wind it. And that I can take with, and he made that here. So
you have a time-altering device inside of a time loop.
No, I have a time tracking device that was made inside the time loop. It keeps time. But what happens is he can make stuff. So potentially, we could also look at potentially making a foundry or a factory here. Just for commercial purposes, it has massive revenue. I mean, you could get all of them as long as you were threatening enough or dangerous enough to work on one thing, like a factory floor. And you could work them, and they'd be fresh in the morning.
Gliz, why don't you reset every morning?
I'm not quite sure. I've been trying to figure that out for myself.
What languages does Gavin speak? Oh, you don't speak Dark Elven. It's the only language I know. Never mind.
Nope. So it was always this way. It's not something you invented.
This dome? No. Like I said...
You woke up the next morning and everyone else had reset. You were left alone.
He wakes up in the same place. He resets like everyone else, except he... Yeah.
You may not know... The people on the street, especially the other goblins, may not refer to me as Gliz. You see, I'm Chieftain Thunderwarg. The liberator of... I forgot the name of my tribe. That's not good. I'm the liberator of the Gruckrime tribe. We're on the outside of the forests here of Lymore.
How interesting.
I led my people here. I heard that the tieflings were waging war against the enslavers. Tired of my people being downtrodden by the others, the humans, especially the drow. I know you enslave our people.
Zune looks very frantic all of a sudden. Gavin, if you could just... are there any horses in here? For
down here.
Investing purposes, need to scour. How much time do?
Idea. Don't. He looks to Gliz, points to Gliz. Don't you dare.
How much
dangerous
time?
And fragile.
How much time do we have left inside the dome?
18
about
minutes.
12.
12.
18 minutes. 12 minutes. 18. I wound it. He starts winding it like
you see.
Oh, Gavin's up the ladder and is heading towards the edge.
I would like to say that the reason, if you would allow me to do this, I'd be walking over towards the ladder at this point and towards the hatch, and if no one had noticed me doing this, I would make a dash for the hatch and run up and cast Arcane Lock and close the door.
Give me a stealth check.
Very well. Not very...
Gavin, I've realized something incredibly important. I need something from in here.
22. Guys, it's going to come down to... He is unfortunately looking directly at you, so he is going to... Because he's absolutely convinced you're going to go do something completely different. So he's going to do...
Well, you know from our backstory that Daredao and Gliz don't really care for each other very much, so he always tries to fuck with him. So here comes his attempt. He's going to try to nonchalantly move over towards the door and cast Arcane Lock on it.
After going through it or locking us all inside?
He's gonna nonchalantly walk over to the ladder.
He's locking us inside.
And I'm gonna Arcane Lock the door, and
you're a cunt.
Going to try and roll me a quick initiative because he's going to try and beat you to it.
Okay.
To say 15. You beat him. You beat him. And you walk over and.
What level spell is this?
Arcane Lock is...
It is a level 2 spell.
Yeah, it's just a level 2.
Fuck you. I'm not getting locked in here today.
In which case we'll just because he was going to do it as a reaction anyway to you doing this, does a thing. He suddenly isn't there, and you all hear this strange screeching sound. It sounds like basically sounds like a ship like grating against like rocks or something in the distance. It just echoes, the ground vibrates, and
he's casting time stop in a time loop. I'm not okay with what's going on magically inside this place right now.
And appears just in front of our dear friend Gliz, and he is going to. He's not going to be nice, I'm afraid. Can I possibly ask, buddy? Can you how many hit points do you have?
80.
So what's the look on your face as he suddenly is behind you? He doesn't teleport either. He's done this before. You know how this works. He suddenly...
Yeah, I'm assuming I've been here, Gliz has been here for 3 years, and so has Daredao, so we've had our roundabouts, and I'm assuming this is something that's probably happened before, and Daredao is most likely expecting this.
Yeah.
But he has to try, knowing that he's not going to die.
So Gliz looks sort of...
Oh, right.
Mildly...
That does make it more interesting, doesn't it?
And suddenly the wizard whispers something he whispers it, but it shakes the room, and Gliz detonates in a explosion of blood and chunks, and just scatters over the entire room, knocking bits of the workshop over. And Deradu is now coated in blood and just, oh, for fuck's sake! What was that? And he looks around and he looks down and, having used that, he finds what appears to be some kind of explosive device that was hidden upon Gliz, which is just detonated and just coated him in blood. And he just, fucking kill that bastard. It's just, and he begins to prestidigitation himself clean. Just, wait, I apologize. I didn't mean to swear and lose my temper, but some days I really feel like he's so personal when he starts to climb up the ladder.
Gavin's thinking about time, and Gavin is very concerned about him feeling disconnected and that a clock is ticking.
Oh, God.
Common sense. This is right up Gavin's alley. Common sense. Don't worry about all this craziness. Get the fuck outside the dome.
Indeed. And you quickly sort of make your way up to the street level where you can see there is a pulsing green tinge that is starting to take effect on the edges of the dome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think I can summon Rickon in here. But if I could, I'd get on him and ride out. But otherwise, I'm heading back towards where we know that Deirdre brought us. Deirdre, some haste, please. Your investors are getting notice.
I would have commanded, by the way, the construct that I have. It would have been waiting at the outside.
Okay.
So you guys are going to be greeted by my construct right now. Is it?
Actually,
what's it going to try and do?
It's just going to try to. I commanded it to. Gliz would have commanded it to try to attack anyone that exits that's not Gliz. So
Okay.
You guys are going to be greeted by a very large metallic direwolf. As you guys exit.
Okay. This thing is going to. It's going to attack Deradu first because he's up first. Who you see Deradu get to the top and he's still dusting himself down when suddenly this direwolf just comes at him from the side and he just, oh, piss it, and just gets jumped and bitten and dragged to the floor, and you hear the sound of sort of like metal grinding, cogs clicking, and a hissing sound of steam escaping. Okay.
I'm casting Fly on Gavin.
Zune, you cast Fly on Gavin, no problem. Gavin, you suddenly, very, very uncomfortably, you're walking along and you push off with your foot to continue walking like a normal person, but you push off and up and you begin to float ever so slightly. It takes you a split second to you have that vertigo lurch, crap. And then you realize that you can sort of balance yourself a bit better.
Center your mind, focus where you want to go.
I'm sure Gavin's flown before with all the vampires he's been around. So once I figure out what's going on, good thought. We need out. Daredal, do we need you to get outside the thing? I'm sort of yelling back at him as we're heading back.
Daredal is under a direwolf. Just fucking go. I'll be fine. Get off. He's bleeding.
So yeah, we head to the edge back from where we entered, where you said the river came in.
Gavin,
we pushed through.
We do not go anywhere. You go.
Zune, where is
you didn't
Zune?
cast it as high enough level for both of us?
I can, but I am choosing not to.
Where is Zune going?
Zune is going to find something that is speaking to her.
Gavin, you're
perception to see whether I see.
Zune's flying in a different direction.
Because I can tell you, me as a player, I couldn't imagine she's not coming. So, I mean,
give me that perception check.
I mean, if you even want to throw disadvantage at me, it's either 17.
17. Yeah, you see that she's not.
Someone's.
Zune, what are you doing?
There will be time to discuss this later.
I can tell you, yeah, no, Gavin's still in common sense mode. He's the, if I'm trapped in here, I can't solve this problem.
She's a wizard. As far as you know, she believes she can solve the problem from the inside.
I know that she believes she can, but Gavin very much understands this is divine magic and just like, I will help you from however I'm able to. You are making a very poor choice. And I say it, use your head. This is not the time. You've got all day tomorrow. And I keep flying. I'm out.
I like to think that Gliss is like laughing from his imaginary grave, like, ha ha ha, fool.
Yeah. So, Zoom, you
do I have time? Can I do it?
You have time, but there is how much of time and what's going on you don't know as a green tinge begins to take effect around the dome. And Gavin just hurtles straight out and impacts with the inner wall of the dome.
I tried.
Gavin, buddy, remember ages ago, because I'm still trying to work my way through these guys, I promise I am, but Gavin, what was your wild magic surge?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Which one?
From earlier today.
Target is immortal, but he is sentenced to lifelong imprisonment.
Oh my, you are such an asshole!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap it up there. I've still got a backlog of stuff to get through, but I am... Oh, man.
What a note.
Oh, what a beautiful ending.
It is very Groundhog Day this episode, yeah.
It is, indeed.
Wow. Fuck me.
Oh, God.
Right. Did Louise just walk away, or did she...
Yeah, she's like, I'm fucking done.
She's like, she's done. Done.
Yeah, we're vampire and chilling in the stomp right now. Kazner and Gregor. Fucking done. Well, shit. That's where tonight's episode of The Long March is going to wrap up, my friends. But don't worry, we've got all the donations in a wonderful Google Doc that we're getting through as we go through this wonderful campaign.
They're gonna next week, all of them as fast as physically fucking possible. So it's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to episode 17, same time next week here on A Long March. The perfect number. Of course, if you enjoyed the show, please do let us know. If you haven't followed yet, hit that follow button. Consider supporting us on Patreon if you enjoy all of the shows that we do here at Encounter Roleplay. And of course, come along tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, for Call of Cthulhu. Then at 4:30, we're back for more Curse of Strahd. But let's go around to cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find one another online on the internet? Let's start with Josh. What do you think of tonight's show, my friend?
You guys have thrown me some crazy wild donations. I promise you next week you're going to see almost all of them, in fact, probably all of them come in, and it's just going to get really wild. But I've been looking forward to this for some time because this is one of the many chapters I've written for. This is literally a chapter out of the vast amount of stuff I wrote. You guys made it to a place that I wrote, and I'm so happy. And I showed you, and I made the tavern just I was like, let's just make them not want to go into the tavern because I need to make sure you guys never set foot in the tavern again. So it's been an absolute blast. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So let me know, and I'll be around on Encounter Roleplay doing Encounter Roleplay things. If you guys haven't been checking out Turncloaks, new episode came out last night. Recording all weekend, recording this weekend again. It's amazing. Your feedback has been phenomenal. We love you guys. I've spoken too long.
Let's get a tool score.
I will say I'd sort of forgotten about it because I, in my mind, thought you were going to do something totally different with it. But yeah, dude, actually that is, it's perfect. Immortal and Trapped. It is Limor. It is Limor. Talk about freaky. It's like you with your hands.
Yeah.
Talk about freaky things.
Yeah.
With out of 10,000, it literally fit the story exactly.
Perfectly.
So yeah, Gavin. But think of all the good I can do when I can do new good every day.
Exactly.
Oh my god, you would find a paladin way to look at that.
Of course I'm going to.
I mean, hopefully you remember that you don't get stuck in a loop, and you're
That's the big question: is whether Gavin ever resets. Since this is a sort of a different trap, I don't know. It's interesting. That's for our friend Josh to reveal next week on The Long March.
Indeed. All right.
Join us next week, same time, same channel.
Louise.
I am upset, but that's after every Long March episode, I feel like I'm the same level of upset. So that's a good thing, I suppose. I'm very excited to see what's going on. I too thought something completely different was going to happen. I thought, it would be internal prism in his head with the whole hex thing. I was but then no, something worse. So great. Super enjoyed today. You can. Oh no. Sorry, I'm just reading things that Josh is sending me right now. Thanks, buddy.
It's good.
Thanks. You can find me on Twitter. No more, no less. On Twitch as a Tental Legend. Ooh, thanks, Josh. On D&D channel on Saturdays. And also on the Wonder Quest podcast, which we're going to do some recording of now, and you can get some swanky merch with that. Wow.
Oh, I need me one of them.
It's beautiful. Aha. So get that in your life.
All right, guys. Fantastic stuff.
Who's not fucking Aureus anymore? What the fuck?
Maybe not. I was able to introduce to you a new character that I will be role-playing as. Temporary, permanently, who knows? Basically, I'm excited to kind of reveal this character as we go on. He's got quite a nice little backstory and tied in with Lymore and stuff. But I had fun today. And you can find me at twitch.tv, AirhoTV, or on Twitter at AirhoTV. I play D&D, and I'm a professional Heroes of the Storm player. So if you play that game or you like MOBAs, come check me out in Blizzard's HGC. And that starts back up. But yeah, that's my spiel.
Yeah. Tia.
Lorelania, everywhere except for Twitter, where I'm Mighty Zimmer. Full-time D&D. I have finally made the switch over to a full-time Dungeons & Dragons streamer, and it is really cool. I'm setting up my own world called Eight Legs of Loth. It is a combination of Dungeons & Dragons meets Discord. It's like the old IRC role-playing forum days through the magic of Roll20 and NPC character sheets. You now no longer have to wait for a time to roleplay. You can roleplay whenever you want. Come check out my channel to find out how you can join Menzel Branson.
Great fucking stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining us today once again for another episode of The Long March. We'll be back again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for Call of Cthulhu. And until then, try not to roll too many net ones because we're going to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Farewell.